What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new and especially fiery episode of the Hot Mic here on the John Rocha channel. I am John Rocha, joined as always by the man himself, the Sneider, Jeff Sneider. How are you, Jeff, on this Oscars nomination day?
Hello, Johnny boy. I am good.
Okay.
I'm also feeling spicy today.
Yeah, what's that? What's going on? You want to tease it yet? You want to?
I just see too much stupidity out there. Too much driving me insane. I can't do it anymore. It's like it's crazy.
Jerry. We're gonna get into it for sure, Jeff. We're gonna talk about so much going on in the world of entertainment here. Of course, we got the Oscars nominations to talk about. I went live this morning. You were on FYC a few hours ago talking about them with Manson Perry as well. We're also going to talk about the big news going on with your scoop, Christina Hodson, writing the Batman film. We're going to talk about people's reactions to that and if Muschietti is still directing the film or not. And we're also going to jump into a lot of things going on with Star Wars. We're going to talk about some other stuff going on with Dunesday. We've got those Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively texts to talk about. There's a lot going on the show today. So strap in, get ready. Send in your Streamlabs and Superchat. So that's a really big thing. It's pinned in the chats and description of the video. Send in your love for our show today. I'm talking to two people right now, two of my sources. We may get something big by the end of the show. So start saying, if we get to 50 Superchats, hopefully I'll get something through and I'll be able to break something here on the show. We will see. All right, Jeff, do you want to say anything before we start or shall we just jump into it?
I think we should just jump the fuck in.
Okay, here we go with 2 feet. If you don't know the Oscars, the Oscars nominations happened this morning. They're from Hollywood. A lot of nominees were revealed. There were some great categories that had some fantastic new people involved in it. A lot of people very happy about Delroy Lindo, Wunmi Masaku, and what have you. Some surprises, some snubs. Wicked for Good getting absolutely nothing. Avatar Fire and Ash getting nominated for Best Costume Design for some reason. But the big story, obviously, was the first picture I put up here. Sinners breaking the record, getting 16 nominations, breaking the record that Titanic, All About Eve, and Lord of the Rings, Return of the King did with 14 nominations. Sinners beat it by 2. And even if you remove them getting nominated for for casting category, they still broke the record by at least 1 nomination. So they have the lead here in all of this. So, Jeff, I know you talked about it earlier. FYC, I talked on our show, but maybe some people don't watch either of those shows separately and watch only our show. So your thoughts coming out of these Oscar nominations here, your feelings about Sinners breaking that record as well.
Records were made to be broken, John.
Yes, sir, they were. That's why they're made.
Who would have thought that when Sinners came out in April, right, we didn't have any idea what the Oscar field would even be. And
right.
We all thought one battle after another was going to bomb in the fall. That this movie would go on to become the most nominated movie of all time. Pretty crazy.
It is, especially for Jay Penske and Variety. They certainly didn't anticipate that with their headline, and they're still getting shit for that. So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, unfairly, I might add. But
in your opinion, yes.
Yeah, I listen, it's a weak year. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody goes, how can anybody say it's a weak year? There were so many good movies. Let me tell you something. This was a fucking weak year. Maybe not for movies overall, but for awards movies, absolutely. And these nominations don't just come out of nowhere. They're not in a vacuum. You're going up against the competition, the other movies. And so if the competition sucks, you're going to perform better. So I'm not taking away anything from Sinners. It deserved all its nominations. There's not one nomination I can point to and be like, it's kind of a bullshit nod. But it did it against subpar competition, I think.
You know what? The title matters and competition doesn't. If you win the belt, nobody gives a fuck who you beat to win the belt, right? Listen, I would argue my championships value more than Bibiani's, but Bibiani is still a champion. It's about being a champion. Do you win? I think this is a little bit dangerous for you to say this shit because it's kind of denigrating a black movie. And I don't understand why the week to week. Yeah, because you're saying it won these awards or it got nominated, but only because the year was weak. And I don't think that's actually fair to Sinners. I think there are plenty of years where the movie, it's a weak year and the movies win. Green Book, I would argue, pretty weak year, but Green Book won Best Picture. I didn't see you crying about that when Green Book
wasn't a weak year. That's because you're wrong. It wasn't a weak year.
Give me a break.
This was an exceptionally weak year. And Jonathan, that goes for all the nominees. Like, I don't know. You're just assigning it to Sinners. Ask me, did One Battle After Another deserve 13 or 14 nominations today? Go ahead, ask me.
Oh, sure.
No, Jeff, it didn't. It had weak competition. See, so that's what I'm talking about. And it's those kinds of assumptions that have driven me absolutely fucking crazy this week.
What assumptions? What assumptions? Go ahead. What are assumptions?
Who said that? Who said it's a black film and that in a weak competition, and that's why, like, I don't understand. The competition is weak across the board. Across the board. The same. But I mean, how many times have you said it to? I'm saying to you, how many times have you said this in your past about films that have been nominated for Best Picture that you liked? How many times have you been like, it's a weak year. I'm happy this got nominated. It's my favorite film of the year, but it's a pretty weak year, so I take it away the credit that it got Best Picture. I've known you for years, and I've never seen you say that. Why would I? If I'm like Coda
was Nora? Was last year weak?
Why would I be like, Coda's clearly the best movie and it's going to win, but it was a weak year, so who cares?
Was last year weak? Because I didn't recall you saying last year was weak.
Nora and a billion times better as awards movies than Sinners and One Battle After Another.
But don't just stop there. Keep going. Do you think Sentimental Value is shit? Do you think Weapons is shit? Do you think all these other films are shit?
I think these are fine movies that shouldn't be in the Oscar conversation. I know Weapons was really, really good. I mean, it's not nominated. Sentimental Value, I like. Right. B-plus movie. What do you think? I'm here stumping Sentimental Value over Sinners?
Is Begonia shit? No, I'm just saying. You're saying it's a weak year.
Begonia's the one movie that doesn't belong here at all.
Okay.
So it's just people just putting this shit on me because I'm Jeff Sneider. Whether it's fucking DC scoops, whether it's fucking F1 tweets from Lon, who I love. Lon's hilarious, love him. But like
Lon Harris,
yeah. It's just like people prescribing these motives to me, and it's all you.
I don't think it's all you, Jeff. If a lot of people are noticing it, maybe you take a moment and have some self-reflection, be like, well, maybe I am a little bit off on this one.
Reflect. I know what I just fucking said.
Okay. That's not good therapy, but all right. When you look at these kinds of things, though, I think it's been a very strong year. I want to say strong year. I don't want to say very strong, but I will say it's been a strong or good year for movies. So, and I think it's irrelevant. Sinners, I think would have been nominated in any year that it came out for Best Picture.
Well, clearly it was not irrelevant because you seized on that one sentence of mine.
You could argue, well, because there's coded language in that, and I kind of see that, but like you don't.
Coded language is what I'm talking about, people.
I'm saying, let me finish my point. I don't think that's your intention. I'm just saying people can see it as coded language. I'm trying to educate you on that. Trying to educate you on that. Come on, listen, you're a Jewish person. If a Jewish film got 16 nominations and people were walking around going, it's a pretty weak fucking year, it's that kind of thing. You would feel maybe there's a little bit like, wait, what?
Myself. I like the fact, listen, I'm not going to argue whether it's a weak year for you. It can be a strong year for you. It can be a weak year for me. Great. Right. Sinners, again, I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm giving its due. I'm saying it earned each one of these nominations. Congratulations to the team behind Sinners. They all deserve these nominations because there's no, what am I supposed to argue?
Well, I mean, I think there's some films that didn't even get nominated for Best Picture that a lot of people felt were removed from or were snubbed in this whole situation. I mean, you look at No Other Choice, that wasn't nominated, right? It was just an accident. It was just an accident. Yeah.
That's a good movie. That got snubbed. Should it have taken Sinner's place? No. Should have taken Begonia's place.
Or F1's place, probably. But yeah, you could argue that for sure. So
I loved F1. So that's the thing. Yeah. F1, you and I think we're big
fans. I love F1. Yes.
And and you tweeted today that there should be room for dad cinema. I couldn't believe how many people were like, oh, F1's such a shitty movie. It shouldn't be in this list. Let me tell you something, guys. F1's the best movie on the list. It was the movie I like the most out of these 10 nominees. Go check the blog. I'm not just saying that to be an asshole today.
No, you're not. I know you're not. I know.
Blog spot. Everything is on the blog spot. It's right there. It's been in black and white since fucking June.
Yeah. I'm with I'm with you, as Jeff just stated. I liked F1. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was fantastic. Some people called it generic, and I'm like, you should be put in movie jail to never talk about movies for a year. You should be barred from talking about movies for a year to call that movie generic. Are there some stuff that we've seen in other movies, sure, but there's something unique about the way Kaczynski brought that film about that I thought was fantastic and really enjoyable. And yes, there is room for dad cinema. And again, 10,000 people vote for these Oscars. 10,000, okay? It is not just like a bunch of critics sitting around circle jerking themselves in a small room that's 50 people. It's 10,000. So you're supposedly going to get a bigger representation of what people think about movies. And so allowing for F1 and other films to be in the conversation is not a negative thing, just so you can add yet another character piece that is about the perils of death or love or relationships or whatever. It's like, that's fine.
It's the whole reason the category was expanded to 10, John.
Exactly, was to include. I mean, the whole reason was expanded was because of Dark Knight, which arguably
because
blockbuster superhero movies
that people actually have fucking seen weren't being nominated in favor of those tiny little weepy indies. And you know what? There's plenty of those in here. We've got fucking Train Dreams and fucking Hamnet for all the beta cucks out there. Like F1 is a movie for a red-blooded, straight white man, which used to, their taste used to dominate the Academy. And I'm not saying it should. That's a good thing. The Academy is more diverse.
But there's got to be room for everybody. That's what you're trying to get at, I believe.
So there needs to be room for F1.
Yeah, I agree. It needs to be room for F1, 100%. And people, I think people complaining about it it's just ridiculous. You're just too fucking deep into the nerd sphere, and you should cut it.
The dumbest. So here's the question I have for you: What wins?
Go ahead.
What wins?
I tell you this: I really thought One Battle After Another was a shoe-in, but after it getting 16 nominations, brother, I think you have to concede that the Sinners versus One Battle After Another gap is much smaller. I don't even know if Hamnet slides in and pull an upset, like a Shakespeare in Love kind of upset. I don't even know, but I think those are the three that are ones that are battling. I thought it was given. I think it's much close. I would not be surprised if Sinners ends up winning, pulling like a Moonlight over La La Land kind of surprise that we saw a few years ago. Now I'm much less confident that One Battle After is going to win. Even though I do think it's going to win, I'm way less confident than I was before.
I think it's a real race. I mean, with the 16 nominations, because they didn't have to go for it in all these categories.
Yes.
And they did. And while maybe a week here, that still says something. That still says something, right? And so it is a lock to win. I think that Sinners has a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
But I think it's just those two movies. There's no splitting the vote and it going to the beta cuck movie Hamnet.
Easy. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be between the two Warner Brothers movies, and it also symbolically a vote for Warner Brothers after all the rumors that Mike and Pam had to deal with and all the bullshit that the studio's going through. I definitely think it's going to be WB's year.
Well, I mean, Zaslav, they had 83 nominations. Is that right for Oscars? I think it was 83 nominations for the WB movies overall, which is pretty amazing. Neon pretty much got the win over A24 this year. 4 out of the 5 foreign films were Neon films. So pretty amazing stuff.
A24 had Marty Supreme.
Yeah, they did have Marty Supreme. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes with all of that. What about director now, Jeff? Do you think it's a much closer race? PTA felt like it was in the bag, winning across the board. Now with 16 nominations and Coogler coming in, do we think Coogler has a much better shot at winning now than maybe he did before this morning? I mean, Jeff?
It's a good question.
16 noms, bro.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson's going to get an Oscar this year, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, right. For writing. I think for writing, yes.
Probably for writing. But, like, the Academy going to feel like that's enough? Like, like he's definitely overdue as far as directing goes, and he probably will win, and he probably should win. But if they're already voting for him in another category, are people going to maybe switch and go with Rian or somebody else? Who knows?
Right.
I think that Coogler also has a chance. It's these two movies.
Yes, 100%.
Really.
This is a kaiju battle. This is Godzilla versus Kong. This is absolutely what this is.
Well, Sinners is the underdog.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. That's what I'm saying. Sinners versus One Battle After Another. This is the two films stomping all over the other films, in my opinion.
And Sinners, was half the budget of One Battle After Another, and it probably made more overall.
Yeah. And I wonder, Jeff, and I know sometimes you shoot this down, but I wonder if in a year like we're having now with the political, or I guess 2025, the political atmosphere going into 2026, will the Academy want to nominate one battle after another? Do they see something familiar with Sinners in that it's a conversation about race, which has been happening in movies for decades? Do they see that that's, for lack of a better term, a safer choice than say necessarily one battle after another? I don't know. We know things surprise us with the Academy all the time. So will they see this as a situation where this is inevitable for them and they feel the safer choice is Sinners? Or do you think one battle after another has done enough people and PTA has enough love with the Academy that it'll end up eking this thing out at the end?
It's hard to say. I would think that they would vote for one battle after another because everybody is just so fed up with ICE and this regime and Trump.
Yeah.
And I think that a vote for one battle after another is some sort of symbolic pushback against that.
Yeah.
I don't know that Sinners really represents that. The other thing working against Sinners, despite the 16 nominations, is that it is a horror movie and there is still a genre bias.
True.
And so, 20 years from now, are these voters really going to want to look back and feel good about that vote? I don't know about that.
Well, and I say this because their history is not going for the controversial film. They don't go. Do the Right Thing wasn't even nominated, right? They like the safer approach to stuff.
Green Book and Crash.
Green Book and Crash, exactly. Yeah, those. But the Green Book isn't really that's a Lifetime movie on racism. It's really not that big of a deal.
Crash wasn't the controversial film that year. I guess it was really Brokeback Mountain.
Exactly, it was Brokeback Mountain. So they go with the safer choices when it comes to controversy. They don't go with the controversial choice most of the time. That being said, though, we know this, Jeff. You know this, of course, on FYC. The last few years, the Academy has worked hard to bring in younger voices, more diverse voices, more women, people of color, Black people, to give it a more rounder approach. So does this mean something like Sinners could get the win where in years past it might not have? And again, I look at Moonlight winning over La La Land was the safer choice, not too much controversial there. Moonlight, a little more controversial, but ended up winning anyway. So I wonder.
I don't mean to denigrate the film by saying this. It's a little bit more of a frivolous choice, though. One battle after another is a little bit more of the serious movie, and this is more of like the kind of silly genre programmer.
Well, only because it goes into a horror film at the end. But everything leading up to the end, I think, is a pretty stark.
Consistent in my views. The first hour of Sinners is excellent.
Yeah, it's a conversation about race and exploring the culture. Yeah.
The movie falls apart halfway through. So, not falls apart. Definitely takes a dive. So I just think one battle after another because it's the heavyweight drama, and I do think that it will be able to look back on it years from now, and it may hold up a little bit better than Sinners. I think it's still that, but yeah, Sinners it's going to make it a race.
Are you surprised? Let's move to this. Are you surprised any of the like Wicked for Good or Avatar or any of these other bigger films didn't get a lot of nominations? Wicked for Good shut out completely. A lot of people thought Ariana would have a shot or Reva would have a shot.
I was surprised by Ariana Grande. That was the first thing I said when I woke up and saw the nominations. I was like, "Oh, Ariana." Okay. Wicked for Good. I mean, it wasn't very good, right? It's just a huge drop off the first movie, I thought, and I think that F1's nomination is a refutation against sequels, right? It got the nom over Avatar 3. It got the nom over Wicked 2. I think that is what people want. Those original blockbusters. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt more than the sequels. Right. I mean, what were some of the other snubs that you mentioned?
Avatar: Fire and Ash not getting much, but I think it was 2 nominations. And then any other big ones, and also some surprises, right? Delroy Lindo getting nominated. 2 of the ladies from Sentimental Value getting nominated.
I was like, for all my Sinners, for all the Sinners hate, even though I didn't hate it, I liked it. I just didn't love it or think it was great. Delroy was the actor I was the most happy for this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought he was the best one in the movie. Better than Mikey, better than Miles. He's super deserving. And I'm pumped for that.
I am too. Yeah, absolutely. I was surprised by the Wumi Masaku nomination. Not that she isn't a good actress. I just don't know that the part had that much weight to it when I watched it. I've seen it 3 times now. I don't understand. Like, I don't necessarily see that that's a best supporting actress nomination. Although I'm happy for her, I thought maybe someone else would take that slot. So I was really surprised to see her get it. I'm happy for her.
She's
but
good
I
in
was
the movie.
surprised
All I really remember is just her having oral sex performed on her. So you get an Oscar nomination, and Michael B. Jordan goes down on you. What a year!
Yeah. I thought that was a good stuff. Any surprises?
I was surprised that both Marty actresses did not get in favor of the sentimental value.
Yeah.
Actors, I thought that they might split the vote. I was surprised to see Elle Fanning here.
So was she. She tweeted it out, posted it on Instagram how insanely surprised she was by getting the nomination.
I know. I was also very happy for Wagner. Obviously, I think that that's a real race, Wagner versus Timmy. I don't think it's Leo versus Timmy. And it's like, on one hand, I think it may finally be Timmy's time, but on the other, I'm kind of inclined to stick with what I've been saying for months, which is that something weird is going to happen in that category, and that it was either going to be Hawk or Wagner Moura.
Yeah.
I was happy for Ugly Stepsister and hair, makeup and hairstyling. I was bummed that the Sarat score and the Marty Supreme score were snubbed.
Dude, the Marty Supreme score. Fucking hell, I was shocked by that, dude. I really was. Yeah.
So there were things that certainly surprised me, but for again, I just find it hard to care. I just didn't care about this year. There were movies I liked. Again, check the blog spot. Not a lot of them were nominated this year. All these movies I thought were fine. Thought they were kind of mediocre.
What about the best supporting actress? Do you think it's hers to lose? Do you think it's Amy Madigan, or do you think it's much more in question now than it ever was before?
I think it's the tightest race, probably. There's the idea, Weapons really only got that nod, and so is anyone who loved Weapons, so they funnel that love into Amy Madigan. There's a lot of other places to reward One Battle After Another, or does Tiana Taylor get swept up in the One Battle After Another love, and like everybody just checking that off in every category, and some people didn't even see Sinners because they don't love horror movies or whatever.
Right. I was surprised that Tana ended up getting it, and there it is. It's going to be fascinating to see which way they go overall with all of that. So we will see as well. Is there anything more you want to say? Anything more? Are we good? Anything more you want to say about these Oscars?
The only thing I'd like to say is that Fox Searchlight,
yes,
which may have fucked with me a few months ago,
wasn't
nominated for anything this morning. I haven't seen anybody point that out. That might be my headline of tonight's newsletter. Fox Searchlight blanked at the Oscars. They totally dropped the ball all year with Testament of Ann Lee and Rental Family.
Rental Family, right.
The projects, they don't get involved in like the top projects anymore. People go to Neon and A24 before you go to Searchlight. They're going to Focus had a great year with Hamnet, and one of those movies has to be Searchlight's. Like, if you're not getting that done, Searchlight, why do you exist? You need to justify your existence in this marketplace. You've done amazing things for 20 years. You put out some amazing movies. Now the leadership has changed, and I don't see it anymore. And if you didn't want me to say this, treat me better. You want to treat me like shit? I'll give you the truth. That's the truth. You're dropping the ball all over the place. Goodbye.
I do want to say that for me, and I know Jeff's not going to agree with me, but I think we saw what happens when your movie's not good and your movie doesn't make money. Julia Roberts gave maybe the performance of her career, in my opinion, in After the Hunt, not nominated. Ariana Grande, a lot of people thought she was incredible, Wicked for Good. Film not good, not nominated. The Rock, incredible performance. Smash Machine, not that good of a film, not nominated. That's how it works for a majority of these films, in my opinion. If the films don't do well, you don't get nominated. Even Avatar: Fire and Ash, you would argue, could have been nominated. Not that good of a film, only making $1.3 billion overall so far. I think that affects things. The box office does affect things, in my opinion.
Sure. No, I mean, it affects it a little bit. I mean, there was one tweet today that was like, like every year there has to be a nomination for a movie that doesn't exist. And that nomination this year was Kate Hudson's, right?
For Song Sung Blue. Yes.
And then someone's like, just so you know, Song Sung Blue, highest grossing movie in the category.
Oh, when you look at
in best
how much
actor.
Spent. Right. Okay.
Hamnet is nominated. What are the others?
Right.
I don't even... and she was great in that movie. Actually, Kate Hudson was the number 2 person behind Delroy Lindo that I was most happy for. I only saw that movie like last week. She was excellent.
Yeah. Begonia, Hamnet, Sentimental Value, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and Song Sung Blue. Those are the movies.
If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I mean, that proves you don't really need to make any money because that made about as much money as this can would if I recycled it.
Yeah.
You know, 5 cents.
Well, I think if nothing else, you take away the 16 nomination. You take away from the 16 nominations, and then Ryan Coogler should keep doing what he's doing, and that the Academy is absolutely in love with what he does. And I think that this is a great sign for a guy who is still kind of come up to see that the Academy has really given love to his work. I think it's great, and I hope he's hugging Spike Lee, who paved the way for a lot of young black filmmakers to think that they can get attention from the Academy. And so I think it's a great sign to see that overall 16 nominations for it. And yeah, that's one too. Speaking of sinners, how is Jack O'Connell not nominated, Jeff? I mean, to me, that was a bit of a surprise as well. I thought he was excellent in that movie, and the fact that they left him out of it was a bit of a snub.
There's no way that can be a surprise to you. You're joking.
It was. I thought it was great in that movie.
You woke up this morning. Let me just get this straight. You woke up this morning. You clicked on the link of nominations.
Yes.
You expected to scroll down and see the name Jack O'Connell.
I was thinking he might be on there. Yes. When I woke up at 7:30 this morning, and then I went live at 8 a.m. And you can verify this by watching my live stream at 8 a.m. The show's on up there. And I said it, that I was surprised that Jack O'Connell was not nominated. I'm on record on video saying that.
Are you bragging about this?
I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you. I thought he was good in the movie. So anyway, they aren't going to nominate the white guy from Sinners.
Yeah, exactly. What about Miles?
But I agree with you on Odessa. I feel like Odessa should have gotten nominated. I'm sad Odessa getting nominated for Marty Supreme. I would have moved one of the sentimental ladies out for her, but or even Woonmi, to be honest with you. But in the end, she didn't get the nomination. But Jeff, this also is me banging the drum. I know you don't agree with me. We need to expand the numbers. It is ridiculous. At least leave it. At least say that 8 is possible. You don't have to nominate 8, but 8 is possible. For God's sakes,
that is literally the worst idea I've heard all day.
Oh, come on, stop.
Let's just give everybody a nomination. Let's just hand them out.
That's not everybody. Come on.
Just bring up that Smashing Machine clip where Dwayne Johnson's talking about the painkillers. Like, look at them. They're passing them around like candy. Passing nominations.
I'm saying Jesse Plemons in Begonia could have been nominated. I think Edgerton and Train Dreams has a legitimate case to be nominated.
Make everybody nominated.
I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying you could open it to 8 and in certain categories. Because, I mean, if international features are now going to be considered, Jeff, that's even more movies that people are competing against.
I feel my arm going numb right now. My blood pressure is...
The irony that the ultimate gate crasher wants to hold on to traditions. Fuck off. Pick a lane, Jeff. Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, let's
what
move
else
on.
we got besides Oscars?
Let's move on from the Oscars. Let's talk about your scoop, brother, man. Christina Hodson, you broke this, and it was made a big old response there on social media and other places. Christina Hodson is writing the Batman Brave and the Bold. Jeff, this is your scoop, so please take it away. What is involved with all of this and people's reactions to it? Well, you have the floor, my friend.
Hell of a scoop from a cranky entertainment reporter, just eternally cranky, lying piece of shit who thought that Robert Pattinson was going to be in the Penguin series, who said Daredevil was going to appear in Spider-Man, let me just run down the fucking list. Fuck the internet and fuck the DCU subreddit and fuck everybody else on this fucking planet. Holy shit. The shit I got for this. And it's not just me. Christina Hodson. Holy shit. If I was her, I mean, it would just, I would need to be paid the millions of dollars that she's being paid to not go online and just tell all these motherfuckers to shut the fuck up. They have no idea what the fuck they are talking about.
Yeah. These guys who can barely write a tweet, they're going to be mad that a writer is writing.
Right. They're exactly. They think that they know what happened on The Flash. I mean, it's just unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
To get chosen to write a blockbuster like this, you're writing a draft that the director is coloring in, and that is kind of what I was told with Christina, is that she is a reliable writer who can write a draft that whoever comes in to direct can color in the fucking thing however they want, right?
Right.
Sometimes that is the fucking gig, guys. There are so many fingerprints on all of these huge blockbuster movies. Like, they get fucked up at a billion points along the way. So to just blame it on the writer, like the writer actually wrote every line that you're seeing, insane. Just a fundamental misconception of how movies are made. I like the first hour of The Flash, by the way. So I don't know who we give credit to that for. Okay. I think she's a fine hire. She's not an exciting hire. None of these have been exciting hires, really. I mean, I guess you could say Flanagan writing Clayface, although he got rewritten. No matter how many times everybody wants to say he didn't. It's just, I don't know, man. And then what's just like all the Batman stuff. Like, first of all, that is going exactly the way we said. There's no rush to this movie. Right now, she is writing Ron Howard's Untitled Firefighter movie for Glenn Powell.
Right. Yeah.
So I couldn't ascertain whether she had already turned in a draft, and maybe James was like, all right, well, we have a draft, but like this isn't finished. So that's why James is unfinished. Or if she's pausing, right? If she started writing. I mean, it seems like the project has had multiple writers that just haven't been reported. I couldn't tell whether, but here's another thing. Yeah. I put hot rumor on headlines sometimes, and other times I put exclusive. And the difference there is that one is confirmed and one is not. So when I say exclusive, Christina Hodson to write Brave and the Bold, or whatever I phrase it as a question. I want to keep it secret and not give it away in the headline. Yeah. People are like, well, it's Jeff Sneider. It's not confirmed. James Gunn didn't say it. Who do you think I fucking call? Why do you think who do you think the trades call the next morning? They call the representative for DC that they're supposed to fucking call. Yeah. Okay. So when it's, Jeff Sneider reported it, blah, 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 blah. If it says exclusive, you can fucking take it to the bank. It's confirmed. Yeah. So that drove me insane. Yeah. But in talking to my DC insiders, there's something weird. There's something weird going on. Okay. Right? Y'all got that impression. Okay. I couldn't understand was weird is, do they not want to say that Christina's writing it, either because of Christina's past movies, because James has said he wants to keep the pressure off the guy writing it, and everyone's like, Jeff Snyder's a liar. James Gunn said the guy. I saw people tweeting, John, wasn't this story debunked 2 years ago? Yeah, it was debunked 2 years ago. And you know what? A lot can fucking happen in 2 fucking years. Oh my God. Just let me be the reporter and you guys can read it and enjoy it or not enjoy it. But the commenting, it's fucking insane. And I know I'm saying that as a critic, right? You'd think that a director is probably thinking the same thing. Either watch my movie and like it or not like it, and shut the fuck up. That is how I fucking feel. I'm the reporter. You're the fucking Twitter random troll. Shut the fuck up and let me do my job. Jake Kleiman at Polygon, just say the fucking insider reported it. I don't need your eternally cranky journalist bullshit. You know why I'm eternally cranky? Because people like you. Okay? I got Daniel Kwan, the director of Swiss Army Man and Everything Everywhere All at Once. An innocent mistake, I'm sure. But going in Hollywood Reporter, telling the story of me walking out of a Swiss Army Man, which I was flattered to be included in the Sundance oral history, and then just blatantly getting it shit wrong. Just like Jeff Sneider got fired after he took my movie down. Ha ha! Not true. Didn't happen. Like, what? What is going on?
Well, I just think people taking ownership. And look, I think a lot of people are frustrated with their lives. And they see people like us on YouTube or for like you specifically in your case, you've been in this business for 20 something years. You've been working a number of trades. You have a resume, you have a reputation, and you keep getting scoops. Notice how those people don't come around and be like, Jeff was right. Jeff's amazing. Jeff got this. They only come and jump on your ass when you get something right. And then they want to go after you about something else. and they'll bring up other stuff where it didn't 100% happen, because thinking as if time stops. Like when you say something is real, like time stops until something else happens. And I think they just are angry little people living little lives who just feel the need to step on people who are doing what they can't do and couldn't do and didn't have the guts to do and couldn't handle doing, by the way, because if they got the attention that they seem to want, they would melt like chocolate in front of a fire. And so this game is not easy. The shit we all take, and I don't want to put myself in the same category as you because I'm not a reporter like you are. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But like the shit we get to be on here to do this front-facing job, it is not an easy situation. But people need to feel superior momentarily, and they will come and attack you, and it makes them feel good as a dopamine hit for a few seconds. But then they've got to go do their shitty job, or they're unemployed, or their shitty relationship, or they're living at home because they don't have a lot of money. And that's the reality of their lives. And so that's the situation that frustrates me overall. So I hear you. I just wish you would turn off the caring button, because those people should not affect you like this, because you're good at what you do and you're consistently good.
Honestly, I go searching for it. I searched my name on Twitter, which, by the way, never do.
Never fucking do.
Oh my God.
No, I don't waste my time on that.
About me.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
People love posting the picture of me when I was much heavier. They love going, this guy? They love doing that. So I don't pay attention. Yeah.
People bring out all the screenshots, me shirtless. I'm not allowed to post a shirtless photo anymore, John. Did you know that? I love it. Like, I thought about that this week, right? Because one of the prominent Oscar bloggers I follow, you follow these people on Instagram. They go to gym classes and all that, training, and they're shirtless. Everybody's just running around shirtless. If I were to do that, I get a call from Madeline Hammond being like, "You're forcing your shirtless selfies on people like Harvey Weinstein." She called me Harvey Weinstein on a fucking call. I love and adore. It was like, Madeline, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just totally different standards. Totally different standards for me. It's right. Like I'm a famous person, except I'm paid like a total chump. It's fame without the fortune. It's really crazy.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Sven says, Rocha, it's not that deep. People wait until most. You're right. It's not that deep. I say one sentence. It's people who hate their lives, watching other people live better lives and wanting to shit on them. Yeah, you're not that deep. It's really that simple. I agree.
Getting back to DC, what I thought was weird. It was like, are they being weird about her being the writer because they're planning on bringing somebody else in? Right. So they don't want to say, hey, it's Christina, because in 2 weeks, they're planning on bringing in somebody else.
Right, because she's already gotten shit for other things. Yeah.
Or are they being weird because the movie has changed, which is kind of what James has already intimated, right?
Yeah.
That's why I, in some portions of the story or, on Twitter, I said the movie known as Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, I was trying to like double check. I'm like, is it the Brave and the Bold, or does he not want me to know what she's writing?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like something is up, but the point is that there's plenty of time to figure it out, because there are no rush to make this, right? James said, I don't want to step on Matt's toes. I want to have the Batman 2 come out. Once the Batman 2 comes out, then we can talk about, how we're going to get Batman in the DCU, which is the right call. Right? That's what we've been saying for how many fucking years? You cannot have two Batmen running around. And I'm not saying that by the time DCU's Batman comes, then Robert's going to be done, or that Matt's not going to get to make his third film. I don't know about any of that at this point. Let's see how this movie goes. But yeah, you just can't do it.
Yeah.
Having two Batmen.
I think you're 100% right that there's something else going on. I also think James delayed Batman Brave and the Bold with what his updates were earlier this week, when he said, like you said, we're not going to release a Batman in the same year as Batman 2. So basically, we're not going to see Brave and the Bold, if it even happens, until 2028 or 2029. Like, that's really, you have to start thinking that far out. So all this, like, where's Batman? We need Batman. You all are going to have to sit on your hands for 2 years, because we're not going to see that Batman for a while. If we even see it at all, we're not going to see that Batman for a while. So my belief is that James knows how the internet works. James wanted give Christina a shot. He knew if that name leaked, people would jump all over like they did. And so I think he was trying to protect her. That's what my belief is. But it also could be, as you said, things are changing. So he didn't want to necessarily say she's writing the film, therefore this is what the film is supposed to be. I think, like you said, they're kicking around what they want the film to be, and they don't know yet. And if Batman Part 2 comes out and it's really big, what are you going to do? Stop it? So what do you do then? If Batman Part 2 comes out as big, do you really release Brave and the Bold in between 2 and 3? Or do you stop it too with Matt Reeves' universe? That would be shocking if it comes out and it makes like $1 billion. Why would you stop? So that's another situation that he's in right now as well. And we still don't know what the Netflix part of all of this is going to be, Jeff. That's still, we're waiting to see what that's going to be like and when that's put in motion.
Sure, right? Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. The other interesting thing I thought with just like the Netflix Warner Brothers of it all, I know we're going to talk about that, but like they're going to get TCM.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I mean, I guess that's part of the deal. I just don't know how they'll use it, since if you go on Netflix right now, I think that the oldest movie is what, from the 70s? Like,
yeah, right. No, you're right.
A lot of the TCM style movies. I'm sure that they will keep it going, but like, are we going to start seeing Netflix classics pop up on TCM?
I know it's a great question because I go to TCM to watch old movies. I've started doing that late at night when she goes to bed at 10 o'clock. I'll pop on an old movie that's an hour and a half, hour and 40, and then go to bed at midnight. I just watched Blood Simple for the first time in my life the other night off of TCM on HBO Max. Yeah, I just had never seen it.
Dude,
first time.
I'm not giving you shit. Like,
first of all,
what'd you think?
First of all, I am even more correct that Frances McDormand has always been a low-key hottie. Let me put that on the table. Second of all, I thought it was great. And Dan Hedaya, Emmett Walsh, when you're an actor, you love character actors and what they're able to do. And that back and forth with them throughout the whole movie was exceptional. I had no idea the black guy was the guy who went on to become the executive producer of Martin and all these other great black sitcoms. Incredible. And John Getz, the lead there, who was the villain in The Fly. It was nice to see him in something else. By the way, John's still working. He's in both seasons of Man on the Inside with Ted Danson on Netflix. So to me, that was a fun experience, but I wouldn't have been able to do that if TCM wasn't available to me to go and take a look at that and watch it. So I wonder if that's going to be how it's on Netflix. It's a portal and you get all of these films and you can go and explore it in that way. I wonder if they'll change their layout.
This is what you get when you watch the Hot Mic. You get crazy Jeff Sneider rants. You get a totally out of the blue, not scheduled conversation about Blood Simple. What more could you want? Blood Simple is fantastic, and it is how I basically sort the Coen Brothers fans. If people are like, I don't know, man, I like Inside Llewyn Davis, man. I like, oh, brother, where art thou? I'm like, over Blood Simple? No, you're crazy. You have bad taste. Goodbye.
Yeah, no, I loved Blood Simple. Again, Frances McDormand, low-key hottie. Been saying that for years. And it was great to see Holly Hunter's voice on the answering machine. I was like, oh, shit, that's great. But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's interesting to see what Netflix is going to do with all of WB's content, what's going to go over, what's not. But do you want to move on to that? Is there anything more you want to say? Oh,
about DC?
Muschietti is not directing it. Stop fucking around, everybody. He is not directing it. Jeff, can you say anything about that? Have you heard anything about that?
The only thing I've heard is that he's directing it. I mean, he's directing it until he's not directing it, right? Like, I understand that much. I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be busy. I mean, I don't even know if Welcome to Derry will still be on by the time this movie gets made. Who fucking knows if this movie?
They're already working on season 2. That came out this week.
He is the director overseeing the writing. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know, because didn't they say they weren't going to show him a finished script till they were done with it, and then they were going to show him that to me doesn't sound like.
You don't think he has any input on it? You think he's just been iced out?
I think he's been iced out, and I think they're just playing this out because they know the story's already broke. They're going to play this out until they decide, because they, like you said, they don't even know what kind of movie they're doing. So how can Muschietti direct a film that they don't even know what kind of movie they're doing?
Well, I think they do know what they're doing. They're doing it. I don't think they're just like writing blind. I think they know what kind of movie they're making. I don't know what kind of movie they're making.
Okay, fair point.
It could. I just think people are too literal with the adaptation stuff. Like, it could be a movie about Batman and Damian Wayne and and be completely different than the rest of whatever The Brave and the Bold is. I haven't read it. I have no idea. So
right.
Maybe that's just a title that they want to use. Maybe they retitle it, like, there's a lot of variables, but as of now, as a reporter, there's a belief, which, I may believe you that, okay, he probably won't direct it, but as a reporter, I'll tell you, he's directing the movie.
That's what you're hearing, that he's directing the movie. Right.
That is what us reporters are being told.
Yeah. I'm here, as I said, I'm hearing of two of my sources close to DC who tell me he's been off since The Flash. And I don't know if that means that he'll come back. But
that's a 3-year-old tip, John.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been saying it for 3 years. I've been saying it that he's been off this thing the whole time.
Could have changed? Don't you think he could have come back on if there was, hey, now this guy's hot again after Derry?
I don't think so. I think James
one hit in this town. You know that much.
Yeah, but one hit on TV ain't one hit on screen, bro. You know that much as well.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason McGee is doing the Baywatch reboot and not doing a theatrical feature. There's a reason for that kind of stuff.
McGee's a fucking genius, because I'll tell you, money. You direct that pilot and you EP that show could run for 10 years and go not just international, and you're getting a cut of all of it just because you direct.
That's true. Not just money, he's also going to be around beautiful women dance around in bikinis, which I'm sure he's
no dummy.
No, I never said he was. I'm just saying no one's handing McGee a theatrical feature from a main studio. All right. So we'll see what happens with the Muschietti thing, but let's move on to let's keep the controversy going. Jeff, boy, oh boy, it ends with us. It came back and reared its ugly head this week as so many unsealed text messages from people involved in this whole thing, including Jenny Slate, Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, even Taylor Swift's texts were revealed throughout this whole thing. There were accusations back and forth in these texts. Sony's texts were released, I think, yesterday. Tom Rothman's texts about Blake Lively were released. And at the end of the day, Jeff, this just makes everyone look totally fucking terrible. No matter what side you're on, they're all a bunch of self-involved narcissistic assholes. And now I don't even care what happens. And I used to be on one side or the other, but to me, they're all fucking self-involved assholes using their power. Your thoughts on this?
People think I'm a crazy person. I'm a very sane person trying to deal with crazy people. Okay? That's like with every glimpse that you guys get behind the curtain of Hollywood, whether it's the Sony hack or these emails or all the shit, I hope that you're seeing that these people are vicious, lying snakes. Not all of them. Some are my friends. So I'm friends with some vicious lying snakes.
There we go.
But for the most part, this is not a town or a business that attracts the best people.
No, it isn't.
These messages are wild.
Yeah.
Just like how these people kind of talk to each other. Like that the fuckity fuck isn't just Ryan Reynolds selling us the new Deadpool movie. That's how he actually talks in real life. Apparently, this is how he writes an email to Colleen Hoover. The Sony exec emails are so good. Like, you would think that if any studio has learned a lesson about putting these kinds of things, like they all work together. You're all supposedly working at the same studio. Go into a conference room and have a war room and strategize what's going on. You don't put it in an email where if all the lawyers are already involved and all these threats are flying, don't you think that at some point your communications might be subpoenaed? And listen, I wouldn't want my shit subpoenaed. My texts are way fucking crazier than these people.
Oh, no shit.
I mean, to some extent, but
yeah.
I mean, you're right. Everybody looks terrible.
Everybody looks terrible, including Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. Yeah, all of them.
I believe all of them. Like, I don't think anybody's lying about anything.
I think you're right.
Blake Lively's a fucking terrorist. I believe it.
Yeah.
Blake thinks, Ryan thinks, Justin does performative feminism and belongs to a cult. I believe it. Like, nothing surprises me anymore. That after 20 years of reporting on these people, nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah. And look, America's sweetheart going, I think this bitch knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin. There's many of us who aren't Swifties who have been seeing through Taylor Swift's nice girl act for a number of years. We know that there's a very driven, narcissistic, ambitious person beneath all that who me stuff that you see at award shows. It's nonsense. It's always been nonsense. You don't get to that level of achievement and control your branding the way she does without having a certain kind of bitchy attitude or a mean girl attitude with a burn book. She's always had that. So I was not surprised seeing that. And I see some people going, oh, the queen read him. She read him. It's like, get the fuck out of here. This is the real truth about it, is that everyone are involved in this are self-involved narcissistic people. And this is the game at the top. As Jeff was saying, you're not going to find a lot of really nice people. Like I was watching the Rachel McAdams Hollywood Walk of Fame and see how many people spoke so highly of her. And I'm like, yeah, that's a rarity. The way they speak about her, it's a rarity in Hollywood. She's actually one of the nice ones. You never hear anything negative about Rachel. She's one of the nice ones. But a majority of other people in Hollywood are not, because they're insecure, low self-esteem, all that shit. Yeah.
There's some fine people. Brooke Blumberg, the publicist who has represented Affleck and Leo, she wrote a really nice remembrance this, I think it was yesterday, about Tammy Rosen, who was the Sundance comms person who passed earlier this year. Like, Tammy was a really lovely person. Rob Reiner, by all accounts.
Yes.
A really lovely.
No one's said anything. Yeah.
Someone mentioned Henry Winkler up in the chat. I've seen Henry Winkler rip a man's dick off. I'm kidding. He a lovely guy as well, by all accounts.
Yeah, Henry is a nice guy too. There are nice people.
Right.
From what I hear, Rhea Seahorn is apparently incredibly
They didn't become
nice.
executives. Yeah. They didn't become executives.
Yeah, exactly. So
studio.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just saying that for that. So, Jeff and I kind of seemed like we were leading on one side of this. Now with all these text messages, they're all just, it's not a good look for anybody.
Like why? Like, it's just stop. Just like everybody agree to stop and walk away, because it's all this. Everyone looks terrible. I'm telling friends who make like indies, and they're like, hey, can you help me with a cast list? Because who knows actors better than the Ian Snyder?
Sure.
And I go, I'll put all these names down, right? And then at the end of the list, I go, and Blake Lively. You really think we can get Blake Lively? Like, we're like a $3 million movie, like a $5 million movie. I'm like, I think anybody could get Blake Lively right now. Nobody wants to work with her. Nobody's lining up to hire her. Make a play.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
She might do it.
You never know.
Just to distract from this whole circus. Like, go focus on the work.
Yeah. I mean, she thinks she's going to win this. You're not winning this. You're not winning this.
There's no win. This is a loser.
There's no winners. Yeah, absolutely. All the way. And
the winners
should have never gotten. It should have never gotten this far, Jeff. I bet all of their publicists were like, stop doing this. This is not going to end up in a good place. Please stop. But it is what it is.
Tara doesn't look good at Sony.
Yeah. So, all right. What did you think of this, Jeff? Anything good here? Anything to talk about here from this first teaser trailer for Masters of the Universe? Was this as bad as I said it, as I reacted to it? Yeah, it was bad.
Dude, this looks like ass. This looks like just random blockbuster. It looks like Borderlands.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it
kind of,
looks like.
Yeah.
Looks like Borderlands. Looks like we're going to have a strong dude. We're going to have a fucking talking creature. We're going to have some hot chick wearing nothing. We're going to have, you know, this fucking guy in a suit. Like, I think nobody gives a shit about this property. The only people I've heard today who give a shit about it are my age. They like, I grew up a He-Man fan. I have no plans to see this movie. I'm 41 years old. I'm not running around in my underwear with a fucking He-Man sword anymore. and like Lon, again, I love Lon. Lon's like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to worry about how much money this costs, because I, put out a tweet saying, this is a terrible investment by Amazon.
Yeah.
That is my job. That's the job, guys. You all have the luxury of like enjoying movies and that kind of thing. It's my job to talk about the business of movies. And if this is a $200 million movie, as we have heard, there's no fucking chance that this movie makes its money back. The audience is out there. June is a fucking death trap, by the way.
Oh my God.
Like, you're surrounded on all sides. I don't see this doing well. I don't care for Galatzine. I didn't watch that Red, White, and Blue Royal Wedding, whatever the fuck.
Oh, yeah.
He does nothing for me.
$200 million for this fucking movie? Shit, man. Jeff, I didn't see that on the screen at all, except for maybe the final shot of some special effects there. But other than that, it looked like something Kenneth Branagh cut out of the first Thor movie, like scenes from the first
see the world building, and I do think it, the money looked like it was up there on the screen. I just, like, this is just not a property anybody gives a shit about. Think about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, that's what this performed like, except I didn't really see the humor. I saw a guy who's half as famous as Chris Pine. I saw a property that is, like, people still play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Ancient property, like, dusty. A bad bet. The trailer looked terrible. No plans.
I saw a lot of tweets saying no one under 40 cares about this fucking property or franchise at all. This should have been a straight to streaming. I think this is going to be an utter bomb when it comes out. It looked like they were trying to give the 80s vibe of like Beastmaster and Krull, those like classic cheesy films from Flash Gordon, but also trying to make it topical. And that him pronoun, they were trying to do the He-Man joke. Oh man, and him looking like he's fucking the sword. I'm like, these are jokes for 10-year-olds. What is happening here? So
we're talking about a magic sword movie, right? This is a magic sword movie. I'm good.
Fair point. All right, let's move on to this, Jeff. Let's get into some more controversy. How about this, man? Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, and Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson calling out Kathleen Kennedy, saying he wasn't spooked by the response to The Last Jedi. Dave Filoni getting called onto the carpet by our friend Drew Taylor on The Wrap twice this week about him not liking Andor and Star Wars Visions, possibly. And Kevin Smets revealing that a source of his told him that he doesn't even like the KOTOR stuff. And Kathleen is just kind of trying to get out of there. This is a messy exit on so many levels. No matter how much they plan this out for 2 years, Jeff, this is as messy as an exit gets. You wrote about it in your column. What are your thoughts on that? In my opinion, it's a messy.
I didn't think it was a particularly messy exit at all.
Okay. Go ahead.
Like, the idea that Drew was wrong about him not liking Andor, and everyone, like, a spokesperson reached out to Claire. Like, you guys, again, let the reporters report. Like, that drove me nuts. The quick, like, the first thing we're going to correct out of all the reporting is actually Dave Filoni liked Andor. I have it on good authority. And I don't care whether he liked it or not. It makes no difference to me.
Right.
I mean, we talked about it last week, right?
Yeah, but you mentioned that you wanted to talk about your column, so that's why I brought it up.
I had written my column at that point, so I did.
Okay.
I wrote my column, and got feedback from inside Lucasfilm, and they thought it was very good, very fair. Yeah. People shat all over Kathleen Kennedy. I felt like this week, totally unfairly. This woman has one of the most remarkable legacies in Hollywood. And when you look at what she's done with Star Wars, right? Like, this was a brand that was pretty dead.
It was dead.
Resurrected it. She made 5 movies that grossed $6 billion. She created at least two really good TV shows, right?
Yeah.
I think The Mandalorian, maybe it isn't as good as it used to be, but that first season was really good. And the other thing she doesn't get any credit for is that it drove way more signups on Disney Plus than it was supposed to. So she helped launch a streamer. There also had never been Star Wars TV shows really before, right?
Other than animated, just Clone Wars.
All the Indiana Jones stuff is totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
She had to make that movie. She
said Harrison wanted it. She had to please her friends.
Well, you shouldn't be pleasing friends, and right? It's show business, not show friends. But she had to make that movie with Steven, all that. What she shouldn't have done is spent that much money on it. She spent way too much money on it.
Fair.
And I think just in general, Hollywood overestimates the appeal of Indiana Jones. I never thought. I wasn't raised on Indiana Jones. I know a lot of people were.
Yeah.
don't think anybody my age or lower gives a fuck about Indiana Jones. I would not be in any rush to recast him with Bradley Cooper, Chris Pratt, any of these fucking people. It's an ancient character, just like Buck Rogers and Matt Mason and all these other fucking guys that our parents basically grew up with.
Right.
Willow was another one that's like, what? Like, why? Because you have it. Because it's a Lucasfilm property, and you got to do something with it. That was a bad idea. So I'm totally fine with criticisms of the stuff outside of Star Wars.
Sure.
Star Wars is not 100% track record, but like, is Marvel? Like, I would argue that she has done better than Feige has done with Marvel over the last few years. Like, I can't take anything away from Feige's early success and, like, you know, an incredible run that the MCU had. The last few years of the MCU, if I'm just looking at the last few years of the MCU and I'm looking at the last, 14 years of Kathleen's Lucasfilm, I think Lucasfilm's better.
Wow.
Run better and more efficiently.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you were on the same page. You and I are on the same page as we said last week, so I don't want to belabor the point. I just wanted to talk about your column, so there you go. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you.
People at ILM, she didn't get enough credit, and I really like Matt Bellamy. Like took a scalpel to her. Like he was fucking like mean, basically. I thought.
Yeah. I think because she's like kind of stonewalled him in certain ways there with Lucasfilm.
Like
but
a shot of Searchlight.
Yeah. But I think she's got a right to do that as well because she wants to control what goes in and out of what is released and what isn't released and what news gets out there and doesn't get out there. And so I totally understand. But Bellamy also defended her against the people who have built YouTube channels off calling her woke and the Force is female and Star Wars is woke by saying that she wasn't woke. He said Kathy's not really woke.
She doesn't
talk to people. Yeah, that isn't her drive or impetus. But so many YouTubers and anti-Star Wars, anti-woke motherfuckers have said that Kathleen is the driving force of diversity in Star Wars when that's never really been her drive.
That's the first thing everybody looks at these days is race. What's race? What's your gender? What's this? What's that? Are you an ism? Are you an ist? What? It's fucking insane. And it's the audience's problem, I think.
Well, the irony is the anti-woke people are the people who do that as well. The irony is they're doing the same fucking thing, because they go, well, if a black person's in this, it's because it's a woke thing. You're looking at race right off the bat, right?
Kathleen Kennedy made Star Wars into content and not a spectacle. Well, you know what? I was at the fucking premiere of The Force Awakens, and it looked like a fucking spectacle to me. Didn't seem like content that night.
Yeah, I'm always perplexed. But here's the thing. She revitalized the brand, whether people want to admit it or not. I don't give a fuck what you the objectively, she revitalized the brand. The reason people have YouTube channels, the reason people are still talking about Star Wars is because of what Kathleen did over these 14 years. Okay. As Jeff has said, and I've said this as well, the brand was dead. We were adults when the fucking prequel trilogy came out. We know how it was dead. She revitalized it. And I think just like they've done in the past with like Hayden and Ahmad Best and other people, 5-10 years from now, people will reevaluate Kathleen's contribution to Star Wars. Because we're going to find out with Pittsburgh. You move a great coach out, and you may not have liked everything that coach did, but that coach got you to the playoffs. If you bring a new coach in, let's see what that new coach does. And if you take the nosedive, you're going to really appreciate that time Tomlin was in charge of the Steelers. You people are going to reappreciate Kathleen, I think, down the road.
Okay, what's next?
Yeah, let's talk about this. Your thoughts on this. How much do we buy into the Jacon Elordi rumors that he will be James Bond? This has popped up again. Roger Friedman talked about this. He reported Jacon Elordi is being heavily sought out to play James Bond and him receiving his first Oscar nomination now. Is this going to maybe push it a little bit further down the road, Jeff? Or is this just people wishful thinking that Jacob could be James Bond?
I mean,
what do you hear? What do you sense?
I don't think there's anything to this.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure he did meet. I'm sure he met.
Yeah.
That's what a director does. And whether he's directing Bond, I mean, just like in general, directors meet the hot stars out there. That's kind of what they do.
Right.
I think if I'm him, I just don't know what you get out of it.
It's a hell of a commitment.
Do you recall the actor who turned down testing for Superman?
It was Jacon Elordi, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bond is a lot more testing. than Superman.
Right. But could this be a one-off, right? We've been saying that it doesn't mean that Denis is going to do James Bond for the foreseeable future. This could be a one-off. So maybe he's like a Bond for this one movie, and then they're going to go down the road and pick out a bigger Bond down the road that'll be part of multiple.
If that was the plan, I could see it, right?
Yeah.
I could see him signing on for a movie. But does this guy who's just got nominated for an Oscar, who has Wuthering Heights opening in February, a huge movie, potentially a huge movie, does he really want to spend the next decade making these fucking Bond movies? If I were him, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, right.
So if it's a one-off, that changes things. I just don't know why, if you're Amazon MGM, why you'd make a one-off, especially when you need franchises so bad that you're greenlighting $200 million Masters of the Universe movies.
That's a fair point.
Right? This is
a very fair point.
That needs franchises, not one-offs. So maybe a one-off for Denis, but I'm pretty sure that whatever Bond they choose is expected to continue, whether they fucking hire McGee to direct the next one.
Fair. That's fair.
It's a little. How do you feel about him being Australian?
I don't give a shit about it. I don't. To me, that's interchangeable. And if people are being honest, who watch British content, Australians are on British content all the time doing British accents. It's not a big deal, and vice versa. By the way, it's not a big deal.
I agree.
Right? Last time I checked, Mel Gibson's Australian. And he played a fucking Scottish guy named Braveheart, and won an Oscar. So.
100% with you. As long as he has a British accent, that's all that fucking matters. As long as the character remains British.
Yeah,
I know we've had an Australian Bond before with George Lazenby, but just like the purists out there. But I just don't think that it's going to be him. He's too big a star. Like, why?
I think this is a fair point.
They sign on to big franchises for 10 years, right? Like, it's tricky.
I think
I struggle. I think he's too tall. I struggle to see him in the tux.
I think you have an excellent point, Jeff. And when you look at like Chalamet and these other actors that are coming through now, man, there isn't necessarily this running to be part of a big franchise. There is this desire to compete for the bigger prizes, to be in films that will compete for bigger prizes, right? I was reading the statistics, right? The Chalamet has been in 8 Best Picture winners, which is, I think, a record for someone that young. It's incredible. 3 nominations. So I think the young guys coming through look at Chalamet's career and go, I want that. I'd like to aspire for that. The ones that are really great actors, like Elordi is becoming, getting already an Oscar nomination this year, like that's the thing that you look at. So it may be clear to him that, like, yeah, it's fine to be considered for that shit, but I actually don't want to do that shit, you know? And I think that's great. And I hope there's more young actors coming through who are like, I don't want to be part of franchise shit. I want to be part of this stuff that challenges me over here, like A24, Neon, or other kind of stuff. So I like it.
The only thing that I think that he has working in his favor, not the only thing, he has multiple things working in his favor, is that he's cold.
Yeah.
He's as cold. And supposedly with Stephen Knight writing this, the Peaky Blinders creator writing the script, harkening back to like the blood in his veins Bond looks like he could kill you.
Yeah.
You know, and at 6'4", 6'5" or whatever, Jacon Elordi is a big fucking guy.
Yeah.
Who played obviously a really dark character on Euphoria.
Right.
So, that could help, but it's like, I'm also privy to the things that Jacob passes on.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that he's going to go for this. If he does, I'll put it this way. If he goes for this, I think it's more about working with Denis Villeneuve and less about being James Bond.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Like that's a huge thing, right? I get to work with Denis. That's like working with Nolan. Nolan may be doing a movie that maybe you don't necessarily want to do, or a franchise you don't want to do, but it's Chris Nolan. Tough to say no. There was the other thing, and we don't know this. I don't think anybody can know what's going on inside Jacon Elordi's head.
Yeah.
Did he dream of being James Bond?
Yeah, I don't know.
Robert Pattinson dreamed of being Batman.
Yeah.
And he chased it.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield for Spider-Man, same thing. Yeah.
So if he dreamed of being James Bond, I think it could be his if he wants it. Mm-hmm. I think they wouldn't turn him down. But if he was like, I never really saw myself as James Bond, and he figures maybe he can work with Denis down the line, I don't know why you necessarily say yes just because it's Bond.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I also think Amazon MGM needs somebody to come in and be a splash. A young guy on the come up with an Oscar nomination, that's a hell of attention you bring to your project. Yes, the brand sells. I get that. But I'm not excited by Callum Turner. I am excited by Jacon Elordi. And so there's a difference in my opinion when I look at the star status of somebody. Elordi is come up and was incredible in Frankenstein. Having him become James Bond, I'm curious. And because he's tall, what is that dynamic like to have a tall James Bond at 6'5" James Bond? How do you plan for that? That being said, he could play a villain and be excellent as the villain. And maybe that's what he's meeting for, is to possibly play the villain in a one-off with
I
Denis.
never considered that. I never considered that. And that is interesting, especially if you had a recurring villain.
Yes.
Throughout the series. That could also be really interesting. It's a way to work with Denis and be in James Bond movies without having to, be James Bond and deal with all that shit. That is interesting to consider. Good food for thought. You're right. You'd think he's meeting with James Bonds, but he could also be meeting with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, very possible.
So,
all right, let's talk about this before we get to the questions, Jeff. Let's talk about this Netflix WB situation. Now Netflix has upped their offer to an all-cash offer. Incredible to see that. They updated terms to, quote, provide enhanced certainty for WB shareholders by eliminating market-based variability. The overall worth, of course, is $82.7 billion with all of this situation. And so you're seeing this all go down in the way that it's going down. And then we've got the news that dropped today that 93% of the WB shareholders are voting against the latest offer from Paramount. So here we go again with all this. I don't want to belabor this too long, Jeff, but I wanted to update because we've been following this story. The all-cash offer, I think, is Netflix's approach to Paramount's to answer to Paramount's approach. So like, hey, we got the money. We're going to give you all cash, well, this kind of shit. And it looks like they want to get everything now, which is going to be interesting if that's the case down the road. What do you think about all this?
I hadn't heard that. Wait, they're trying not to just buy
I think that's the next step is what I'm saying. I think they're going to try to get everything now, including the TV stations or what have you, and then maybe sell it off for themselves down the road. I don't know, but I'm just saying the all cash offer, because I think Paramount's going to try to go up the stakes again. And I think Netflix is going to have to respond to Paramount upping the stakes again. So I think the TV stations now.
It's all a huge fucking game. If I'm Paramount and I want the studio, make a play for it. Like you're doing the same shit, coming back with this and that. Like, okay, raise the fucking price. Raise your bid. Maybe you get it. Don't raise the bid. We want to fucking do this for another few months. Be my guest. I don't know if like the same way that Netflix was accused of playing defense and like they didn't really want Warner Brothers, but then they were like, we might as well throw our names and go after it because we don't want to have it. We don't want Ellison to build his empire. Is that what Ellison's now doing back to them and putting up all this fucking bullshit, no matter how bad it makes him look, just to, put off and delay this merger? I don't know. The all cash thing doesn't really mean much to me. I guess it's more attractive as far as deal making goes. Of course, everybody looks for cash. I just want to know how does $80 billion or whatever the fuck it is, how does it get transferred from one hand to the other? Is it a wire? Is it like, can you imagine being like the CFO of Netflix and and they're holding the pad and it's like, just push this button, sir, and you will transfer $80 billion. Like, would you be sweating? Like, I'd be flipping out. Or is it actually all cash and do the Den of Thieves led by Gerard Butler need to accept the truck that has the $80 billion in it? I don't know how much $80 billion weighs. Is it 20?
Yeah. I don't know. Would it be or would it be one of those big tanker cars? You have to go to the actual port, open it, and pull out all the money and put it. There you go with the $82 billion. Yeah, I'm sure it's a digital transfer and it's not that big of a deal. But you're right, $82 billion is a lot to be transferring. But Zaslav in the all cash situation walks away with $500 million, Jeff. If this all goes down, so I can understand why he's pushing for this whole situation. Wouldn't that be amazing for him at least? $500 million. I was reading about the Lakers. There was a great ESPN expose on the Lakers, and they were breaking down how much the Bus family members walked away getting with this recent sale. $500 million each. Jeff, I wouldn't say a peep if I got $500 million. I'd happily walk away and skip away from the whole situation.
That was an amazing piece of reporting.
Yes. It was great. It was a great read.
ESPN was great. If you guys haven't read it, all about the Lakers sale.
Yeah. Real quick, the NFL, before we get into questions, you want to talk about the NFL this weekend? 2 big games. What do you want to say?
Go Patriots, baby. I mean, who's your Super Bowl prediction? I got the Pats, and I'm thinking the Rams.
Yeah. I got the Rams. I'm with you there. I think Darnold plays like dog shit against the Rams all the time, so I think he's going to win. But I do have the Broncos winning in an upset because I think that defense is going to be strong, and all Stidham needs to do is not throw an interception. And I think that's down the road what's going to happen. I think you guys are a year too early, Jeff. And no one thought you'd get this far. You're a year too early. And if the Texans had a semi-decent quarterback, you'd have lost that game in New England. So I think it's going to be a little more questionable than you think going into that game. So
I think
we'll see.
May just has to not throw an interception.
Yes.
If he can just protect the ball, like I don't see how we lose.
But this is a better defense than the Texans' defense. And you're going to be playing in Denver, not in New England. So
not that much better than the defense. And I don't think that they have an off. I mean, again, Stidham could be good. He could be horrible.
He could be horrible.
You know, is Dobbins coming back? Like,
no, I don't think so.
Right. So, like, they got I guess we have a rookie running back too, but RJ Harvey, I just don't know how Stidham gets the ball to that receiving core.
That's going to be interesting. And Sean Payton's a Hall of Fame coach. This is going to have to, this is where it's going to be, where the rubber meets the road. Is he going to get Stidham prepared for this game in time? Only 7 days. The
thing is that all the pressure is on us because they have the backup, I think.
Yeah.
So even though we're the underdog and we're away, I still think we're the favorite. And that pressure might be for Drake. So
we'll see. And Brave will just choke.
Stafford versus May MVP duel to the end.
Oh, that could be it. That's a great point. That's a selling point for the NFL for sure. All right, let's get into these questions, Jeff. Let's roll through these things. I know it's 5:20, so we got to get through them quick. Anything more you want to say, or we'll go with questions? Shall we jump in?
Let's fucking go.
Okay, let's go. Marcos Cisneros says, how has Kathleen Kennedy defended ILM's role as America's lead VFX house despite offshore tax incentive pressure? Will Bob Iger push ILM towards AI? Sell ILM? Well, Disney's already invested like $1.5 billion into AI recently. So I would say that Iger is absolutely moving towards AI. Jeff, what do you think about that?
That's a great question, Marcus. I don't know. I'd have to talk to some VFX sources of mine. It wouldn't shock me if Bob Iger pushed ILM to embrace AI. I don't know if he'd sell it. I mean, ILM's like the only one that's like killing the game. I was told that like the Academy does the Bake Off for the VFX. All 10 movies that make the shortlist come in, and they do that. I was told it was like mostly ILM movies. So like they're still getting all the top assignments and stuff in Hollywood. So I don't know if they'd sell it, even though I think that the VFX is an increasingly risky business, right? Because it is going more and more AI.
Yeah, it is absolutely going more and more. And we're seeing it all around. AI is popping up, and just peruse TikTok for a while. It'll blow your mind how close it's getting to reality. I mean, I watched Kevin Smith last night on the Jedi Way, clued me into some Star Wars AI fan-made films. Jesus Christ, they're amazing. And live action, not animated. Live action, crazy.
Yeah, I just think something could have happened to ILM had Kathy not been there to be like, no, we need to protect this. We've got something.
Yeah, good point. Gnome 3000 says, one Avengers underperformed, Cape shit now boring. Okay. I don't want it to underperform.
Yeah. Cape shit is like all these movies that aren't Avengers Doomsday, like Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts. I don't even know how we're comparing these and just being like, oh, well, it's all Cape shit, so it's just going to perform like the other Cape shit. No.
Yeah.
I think this is movies do at least $1.5 billion.
Nothing tells me that you don't know fuck all about movies than to tell me Infinity War and an Endgame are the same thing as like regular Cape movie. Like it just, nothing tells me that you don't understand movies than saying they're the same thing.
I literally think I can predict stuff via my mentions on Twitter. Like I can see the excitement online for a movie like Doomsday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't sense less excitement than I did from other Avengers movies that I reported on a decade ago. Like this thing's going to be huge.
Yeah. Massive. Buckteeth Bandit says, hey guys, I read Project Hail Mary the other day and absolutely loved it. I can't wait for the movie, and I have no doubt it will be a massive hit. Yeah, there was an article this week, Jeff, saying how Project Hail Mary is like the first Best Picture nomination people think about for 2026.
Yeah, Kroll, my boy Kroll, went on the My Mom's Basement podcast and revealed that tweet that he sent a couple months ago, where he had heard, good things about an upcoming movie. He revealed that it was Project Hail Mary. Which I think I mentioned before already on the show. But yeah, I've heard it's great. I've heard it really came out fantastic. Hopefully Amazon MGM will know how to mount a campaign for it, because I don't think that they had anything nominated today.
Right.
No,
they didn't.
That out the season. But yeah, I hear Lauren Miller, man, they haven't made a movie in a long time.
Yeah.
And they're back.
Yep. It's clear. And it kind of indicts Kathleen Kennedy even more, because she moved him off Solo. But, we'll see.
It doesn't indict them. Do you understand? Like, these guys didn't really get the assignment, is what I'm told on Solo.
Yeah, but you're told by people who are connected to Star Wars. And I'm going to tell you, if I talk to people connected to Lord Miller, they would say they got the assignment. It was Kathleen who didn't want to go forward because she got cold feet about it being too humorous. I don't know.
I mean,
that's who I've talked to. So.
I thought Solo turned out just fine. So I thought Ron Howard did a very good job of rescuing that movie from whatever it was going to be that probably was not in line with the Star Wars brand.
Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw says, will Sean Penn lose because he already has 2 Oscars?
No, he'll lose because Benicio del Toro was a more likable character.
Who won the bet between us on that? I think we both got in, so maybe there's no bet. I thought we were betting that. Well, we'll see who wins. Yeah. We'll see who wins.
Yeah, I forget. We may have bet. I know I was on Del Toro's side, right?
You were. Yes. And I was on Sean Penn's side, but you were saying he might not even get nominated, but he got nominated.
I always thought they're both going to get in. I don't remember what the bet was. Maybe one of our viewers who can remember every single thing I've ever said. Remember some of these bets. I know I made a bet with Mance on FYC. So if someone is FYC diehard, somebody remind me.
There you go.
I already paid out $20 in one losing bet today.
Wiley OFC's the original song category is still awful once again. It's just one song carrying the load, and the others don't matter to most people. I know I'm screaming at the clouds, but I can't help it. I care a lot. Yeah, that's fair. How was Diane Warren nominated for a song she wrote for her own documentary? That's a hubris beyond hubris beyond hubris. It's insane, I
mean, Train Dreams and like that Avatar song that's at the end of the movie. Like there aren't. It's not like Magnolia anymore. You don't get a wise up in the middle of the movie.
Those were the days, bro.
I don't know. Sinners, I guess, had some good songs.
But I don't think people are writing for movies anymore, bro. I don't think they're writing in the ways they did before. I mean, the songs for fucking Wicked were terrible. Wicked for Good were terrible, which is why they didn't get nominated.
Songs used to be so good in the 80s and 90s.
We're spoiled. Even the ones that didn't become hits. Like you listen to that Pulp Fiction soundtrack, there's like 3 or 4 original songs on that. Never became hits, but they were excellent songs,
But that's a soundtrack. Those aren't original songs.
But they're songs written for. Do you mean they're songs written for movies, right? Aren't those part of a soundtrack? Songs written for movies?
There were no original songs for Pulp Fiction. There's no one like I'm writing a song for Pulp Fiction.
Maria McKee's song was written for Pulp Fiction.
Who?
Okay. Let's move on. I can't get into this. We don't have time. Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw. How sad is Benny Safdie right now? Listen, it's one movie, 1 year, Yeah,
exactly. Like his brothers, he's probably really happy for his brother, actually.
Yeah.
It's not I know it's a competition because I have brothers and I'm competitive with them, but he made a movie that got nominated for 2 Oscars. He showed people he can do something different.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, here it is. Maria McKee wrote an original song for Pulp Fiction. It was called "If Love Is a Red Dress, Hang Me in Rags." I'm fucking right. Don't come for me, Jeffy.
Where's that movie? Does it make it in? Is it in the movie?
It's in the soundtrack. Yes, it's in the movie. I can't tell you what section of the movie because I haven't seen it in a long time, but it is in the movie. I'm just saying it. They've done that before. All right, where is it? Where are we? Okay, here we go. JMH Movies. A lot of below-the-line Academy voters are working-class union craftspeople, the kind of regular people who show up and love a movie like F1. 100%. 100%. Although I think you're generalizing people like this and saying, well, they wouldn't have the tastes to like the more avant-garde type of stuff. But I do agree with you that a lot of below-the-line probably people liked F1 for sure. You agree with that, Jeff?
Yes.
Are you trying to prove me wrong or something? What are you doing?
I was trying, but no, I mean, the Academy is definitely the majority below the line. And that is why F1, a movie that is excellent with as far as the crafts go, I think it's probably going to win the. I think it could win Best Sound. I don't know. I don't know if it'll win editing, but sound seems like a real possibility.
Yeah, I think it's nominated for special effects. I don't think it'll win that. I think Avatar probably wins that. Fantastic. There are very good and entertaining movies that are rewatched that don't get nominated, and there are Oscar movies that don't, just saying good. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Very good entertainment that are rewatched and don't get nominated. Listen, I think the idea of what is an Oscar movie has changed a lot in the last few years, and I think we saw that with Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a movie that absolutely never would have been embraced by the Academy of the 90s. Like, you think that's going to be nominated if that was released in 1995? Like, we think that's going to be nominated alongside Braveheart?
Yeah,
no.
Probably not. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, true. Zion Miguel says, "Who do y'all think Gunn should hire next to revise the Batman script? Someone like David Callahan? He has experience with action and a good family story." But isn't Drew Goddard sitting there, Jeff, still? Isn't he part of the whole writer's room there?
Why are we already talking about another writer? Like, why are we... Maybe he doesn't need to hire anybody to revise the Batman script. Maybe he doesn't need revision.
Very possible as well.
That's not like the best way to keep costs down, is just hiring like all these expensive rewriters to turn shit into Shinola.
That's true. DSal0978 says, "I bet Jeff went crazy for that Lost Bus nomination. LOL. Good nominations year overall. Dreaming big for Timothée Chalamet." Yeah, Lost Bus got a nomination, Jeff.
I was excited for it. It was visual effects, right?
Visual effects. That's what I mean. Visual effects.
Yeah. And it absolutely deserved that nomination. I think I had it in my predictions last night, and then I took it off because I chickened out. I watched that entire movie being like, how the fuck did they do this?
Yeah.
I really was like blown away by the VFX in the Lost Bus.
Yeah. Dennis Hoffman 3856. What's up, Dennis? Good to see you, buddy. Says, "John, I'm in San Diego for work. Oh, staying down by Petco Park. Any recommendations?" Michael B. Jordan, a nomination alone is a huge win for him. Sinners surprise on supporting wins. Sinners will hold up, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Sinners will hold up. I also think One Battle will hold up. I'm surprised in a good way. Like, I'm surprised Delroy got nominated in a good way. Wumi Masaku in a good way. So, yeah. Jeff, anything you want to say on this?
I don't think any of these movies hold up. Pillion holds up. I watched that a second time this week. Amazing movie.
You're like one of 5 people that's seen that movie. Petco. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you on that, Dennis. DM me. I can give you some recommendations down there. Zion Miguel says, "Can I get some screenwriting advice from both y'all, specifically about sequencing, arranging scenes that makes them effective? Is it just about following the drama, snowballing conflict? Thanks." Jeff, this is
kind of a big question to answer. About some specifics of the script. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think you have to make sense. Like, you have to go from A to B to C to D. Yeah, I don't know. Tricky question, Miguel. I don't know how to answer this without knowing what we're talking about.
Here's what I'll say. If you're sequencing, arranging scenes for a specific section of the movie, what you've got to be focused on, what do I want people to feel of the overall impact of all those scenes together? What am I leading to? What am I getting to? Am I effectively getting to it in the leanest, meanest way possible? That's what you got to look at when you're sequencing and arranging scenes. Am I hitting the point that I need to get to and then moving to the next sequence of events or sequence of scenes in order to get to the next point? That's what I would say. My limited amount of knowledge I have on that. Fantastic for talking about F1 in my previous super chat. I ran out of room. Oh, okay. Fair point, Fred. Thank you.
What a cute dog.
Very. Zoe Miguel says, "Any news on Peele's new film? Is there still a chance he's collaborating with Marvel or even DC after ScarJo, Sebastian Stan casting? Elseworld stuff for him, maybe?"
No.
I wouldn't think Elseworlds.
Yeah. He's making a movie for Universal Pictures.
Yeah.
He's writing it. There's no collaborations with Marvel. There's no collaborations with DC. And I've got it on good authority. Jordan Peele, not going to be James Bond either.
There you go. Mariana Barbara says, "Maul, Shadow Lord trailer looks dope. I agree. Sadly, the Ray Park situation tainted my view of Maul. Hope he gets off social media and gets the help he needs. Yeah, I'm very happy that I missed some stories on social media. I don't know what's going on with the Ray Park stuff, so I don't know anything about that. And I didn't love him being Maul as much as I love the character of Maul. So, yeah. Did you see this trailer, Jeff? I'm sure you did. Maul, Shadow Lord? Okay. Alexander Wilson, 3724, isn't Searchlights Ready or Not going to make more money than the movies that Jeff named? Does that not matter?
Ready or Not 2 is poised to be a hit this year for Searchlight.
Okay.
And that is the point of the movie business, is to make money, not necessarily win awards. Having said that, Ready or Not 2, as of right now, is opening against They Will Kill You. And that's going to be quite a battle. So unless somebody moves, I don't know that Ready or Not 2 is going to be able to repeat the success of the first movie, which, by the way, I think is overrated.
The first movie?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fun movie, fun concept.
Yeah.
It goes nowhere. It writes itself into a corner, and there's only one way out of that corner. Everybody explodes. That's like a terrible ending.
Okay. Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw. Does Lockjaw crack your top 5 Sean Penn performances? Ooh. I mean, Milk, Fast Times, Dead Man Walking. I guess Mystic River, though I think he overacts certain moments in that film. I mean, maybe. I think it has a real shot for me to get in my top 5. I mean, the other one, Sweet Lowdown, Fair Game, 21 Graham, Assassination of Richard Nixon. I don't know. I also have a love for Casualties of War. He's fucking excellent in Casualties of War. And The Game, Jeff? I think he's great in The Game.
You haven't mentioned Bad Boys, bro.
Oh, Bad Boys, right. The original with Isai Morales. Come on.
Bad Boys. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Again, that may be something I need to. I've only seen the movie once, so I do want to see it again before Oscar night. I need to see it a couple times to fully appreciate it, but just right now, no, not in contention for the top 5.
Yeah. Whereas with me, I think it is. D-Sal says, love you, John, but I don't agree with increasing nominations and categories. I think that will tarnish the exclusivity of getting nominated for an Oscar. It won't tarnish it for anybody except the traditionalists and the purists, and they're on a small boat on a small island in the middle of nowhere. People don't care, all right? And so you increase the number. We've increased the number of people in the NCAA March Madness. You go, wow, it's less that they won the title. It sucks. We increased the number of college football teams that are available in college football playoff. Are you taking any away from Indiana University winning the title? No. Increasing the amount does not tarnish shit. It just allows for more people to be part of the party who deserve to be part of the party already. So to me, I just disagree with that.
That's a good argument, but for my boy Johnny Roca, it was well said. I disagree with him, but he made some good points.
We keep adding playoff teams to the MLB and to the NFL. Does it denigrate the World Series champion or the Super Bowl champion?
Saying, if the Patriots win the Super Bowl this year, well, there's more slots to get in. But I mean, in that case, you know that they're number 2, so they were going to get in anyways. But if the number 7 wild card team was going to win the Super Bowl, then people might say, well, you shouldn't even been in the fucking playoffs 5 years ago or whatever.
Right. Miami was the number 10 team. It got in on the last day of the college football playoff, and it made it all the way to the championship. These things matter. Doug Developer says, using Jeff's words, the Pats in the Super Bowl is not impressive because they faced a choker, the worst QB performance and backup. The NFC game is the real Super Bowl anyway. Wow. Fighting words, Jeff. Fighting words.
Listen, we're talking about the New England Patriots, okay? They could go up against the 86 Bears.
Oh, 85 Bears.
Because 85 Bears, whatever. They're just a blessed, lucky franchise. I mean, I don't know what to. Yes, we are very lucky. We've gotten some crazy calls over the years. Yeah. And so while the NFC teams probably are more talented on paper and more complete, I'm not just going to say, well, that's the Super Bowl, because if the Patriots get into the game, anything can happen because we've seen it before. And I know we had Tom Brady, but this Drake May guy, there's something special about him.
And then we'll say this, that defense of the Patriots was hitting people against those Texans. They were laying motherfuckers out. And yes, C.J. Stroud played a terrible game, but the Patriots defense was a reason for that. And so that's the situation there. If the Patriots beat the Texans defense, the Broncos defense, and possibly the Seahawks defense, you can't say shit about them winning the Super Bowl. They deserved it. no
Rams
matter what
have
the
a
situation.
terrible defense. Let me
Yeah,
remind
the
So
Rams don't
them,
have the great.
They're our opponent. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, exactly. Hodson, Arthur Rose, H1D says Hodson has 0 hits to her name. Oh, Christina Hodson has 0 hits to her name. At what point do results matter at WB? All of her work is either bombed or been, quote, unreleasable. I'm nervous now. Did she direct those movies, Arthur Rose? I just would like to know if she directed those movies. And most people weren't walking away from those movies complaining about the script. I think the Bumblebee script was good. And I haven't seen the Batgirl. Obviously, none of us have, so I don't know about that. But
right, people are like, "Well, she wrote a movie that it was so bad they couldn't even fucking release it, bro." Guys, that was all about money, and I don't really think that was about the quality. I think that was more about we have a chance to take a tax write-off on this. We don't think it's going to perform very well,
right?
With Leslie Grace, who nobody knows. Pizza test right now.
And still nobody knows. And still
exactly. Pizza test. If she came and knocked on the door with a pizza, would I be like, oh, you're Batgirl? No, I would not. I'd have no idea who she was. Brendan Fraser, good actor. He's the villain. Is he putting butts in seats? Didn't see anybody talking about Rental Family this morning. Yeah. So that's about money. And again, what was the script that, to his credit, because it wasn't in my story, I didn't know this. What's the one thing THR added?
I don't know. Tell me.
Batman Beyond.
Oh, right. She was working on a Batman Beyond. Right. Yes,
I don't think any of us knew that. And he said that according to his sources, that script was very well received. That's a Batman script. Right. So again, when you think that you know everything about a person and their career based on their IMDb credits, that's not how it works for writers.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
Actors, when they like that shit it's right there on camera. A writer, they could have written 20 other fucking scripts, all of which were great, and you'd never heard of any of them because they didn't get made.
Right.
People.
I know.
People.
JMH movies. People are not as well read as you and I are in the business.
You gotta read the Insider newsletter, right? That's
there you go.
To help you. Subscribe and let me help you understand this business because the trades aren't helping you.
No.
They're helping the agents and they're helping the managers.
It's true. Yeah. JMH Movies says Marvel's best films came from writer-directors Gunn, Joss Whedon, Ryan Coogler. At DC, Gunn hasn't hired any writer-directors besides himself. Do you think this will change anytime soon? Mike Flanagan's a writer-director, isn't he?
Not directing.
Oh, that's right. Fuck me. I forgot about that. What about Gillespie? He didn't write Supergirl, huh?
I don't think so. No, it was Anna Naguera.
Oh, right, Anna Naguera. That's right. Who's doing the other? Oh, yeah, I guess.
I don't want to read too much into all these choices, but he's definitely hiring a lot of attractive young women.
Oh.
Just throwing that out there.
Wow, I hadn't even thought about that. Okay.
Those when they're young, younger writers, maybe a little bit more grateful, a little bit more inclined to do what the boss wants, right? Like
it's a fair point.
Yeah, I think James Gunn is so involved in shaping this universe. He wants writers, whether they're male or female, because obviously it's not all female writers. There are male writers in the DCU.
Right.
He wants people to tailor things to his vision, and so it helps to hire younger, inexperienced, cheaper. Yeah, you're not going out and getting Eric Roth to pen the new draft. So
it's true. It's true. All right, Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw is back again saying, you might laugh at me, but is Josh Safdie the Scorsese of this generation? Good Time, Uncut Gems, and Marty Supreme feel like 70s Scorsese films. Not even remotely close. No offense, but those films don't have anywhere an impact that Raging Bull had or Goodfellas had or anything. Like, no, I don't think he's anywhere close.
I mean, I need to see more from him. He's obviously made more movies than just those.
Right.
I mean, those, have the spirit. I think they feel like cocaine movies in a sense. So I think that's where the Scorsese thing is coming in. Zeno Hour in the chat says Christina Hodson is 40. 40 is young as a screenwriter in Hollywood.
What's wrong with y'all, man? What's wrong with some of you? Eric Kirby says, Rocha, have you guys done Breakdown, Kurt Russell movie on the Cinephiles or Extreme Prejudice, Walter Hill? Nor would we do either of those two movies. Breakdown's fun, but it's not a Cinephiles level movie, and neither is Extreme Prejudice. Also a fun film. So we would never do that. I would do different Kurt Russell movies, and we'd do a different Walter Hill film for sure. Maybe
Let's
Warriors.
do Unlawful Entry, bro.
Maybe. Lockjaw, breaking news. The guy who, quote, would have voted for Obama for a third time in Get Out said he would have voted for Sinners the 17th time. Just
that was an A+ meme going around today.
Brady BK says 12 Years a Slave, Get Out, Moonlight, Green Book all deserve their Oscar love. No way. But Sinners, I enjoyed it. I just don't see it as Oscar worthy. You think Green Book was Oscar worthy? Suck a bag of dicks. I think you're insane on that. Moonlight, Get Out, 12 Years a Slave. I'll give it to you, but I'm not going to give it to you on Green Book. I'm just not. I watched 30 minutes of that the other day again, just to reaffirm my point of view, and I'm still right. I feel about that.
Slave deserved it.
12 Years a Slave was excellent. Samuel West 4864 says, have you heard anything about the Batman 2 script, like quality of it? I imagine it's amazing if all this kind of talent is interested in it.
I mean, I haven't heard anything. I'd love to be able to say I have, Samuel. I haven't heard anything because I really only know one person who's read it.
Okay.
But I think that you're right. I think you can read into that if you're getting people like Scarlett and Sebastian Stan, it's got to be a pretty good talent magnet.
Yep. Cody Hunt Film says, controversial opinion, The Smashing Machine is better movie than Marty Supreme. That is controversial because that's insane. A better title for Marty Supreme is One Bad Decision After Another. Sure. So is The Smashing Machine One Bad Decision After Another, isn't it? Drug use
is a movie that's being unfairly shit on, but it's definitely not as good as Marty Supreme.
No. Jedi Dog 360 says, what's up with Spielberg Cooper Bullet? How come Cooper is no longer involved? Jeff, anything on that?
Yes, this is the comment that I left on Jordan's World of Real site, and that Jordan again twice this week. Roomy once, Jeff Wells the other time. Private exchanges. Private emails, private DMs becoming public. What are we doing here? If I text you, John, do you expect to read about it in the newsletter? Do you expect to see your newsletter?
It's a privacy. It's an acceptance of privacy, an expectation of privacy.
I mean, he drove me fucking nuts today. I texted him like, "What are you thinking?" I never said Bradley Cooper is not involved. So Jedi Dog, let me clear that up right now. What I said is that Steven Spielberg is not going to direct Bradley Cooper in that movie. That is not happening. Steven Spielberg could still direct it, but it'll have another guy. Bradley Cooper could still star in it, but it'll have another director. And Steven Spielberg could end up still producing it. But I do not see a world where Steven Spielberg directs Bradley Cooper in Bullet. Doesn't mean either one of them's not involved with it anymore.
Right.
So to see that headline, it drove me fucking crazy today. Again, the 100th example just this week alone of people just misinterpreting my words. It's not even misinterpreting. It's like a willful, this is in black and white right in front of me, and I'm going to misread it.
Right. Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. Crazy.
Love his site. Love what he's doing at World of Real. This was a comment in a World of Real story. It's not its own World of Real story. That's why I left it as a comment.
There you go.
Otherwise, if it was a real story and Bradley Cooper wasn't involved, it would be in the fucking newsletter.
You know, we have a bunch more questions to get through. Let's go through these. Brady BK says, just some love and support for my favorite boys. Thank you, Brady. Always good to see you, brother. And thanks for coming in and watching my live show this morning on the nominations. Played out 148 says, Jeff, here's $5. Do what you can to sink the Bullet remake. Well, I think you just did. No way. Elijah's vid says, Bradley Cooper directs Bullet, Best of Enemies with Bale. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know about that Enemies project. I remember reporting on that.
Quincy Ryan 5832 says, for me, Timmy and Michael B's performances are on par with each other. I think Leo is the standout. Also, Frances McDormand is a fucking babe. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Who do I think is the standout? I think Timmy is the standout.
Timmy is totally the standout. Come on. Now.
Come on. Standout here.
I mean,
all due respect to Wagner and Michael B and Leo, they were all good. Ethan Hawke was good. Timmy might be on another level on this.
Yeah. Drew Skizzy says, my boy who watches the show got in a car wreck today. Oh, shit. Can y'all give him some words of encouragement to lift his spirits? Jeff? Or do you want me to do it?
My boy, feel better, get some rest. That sucks. I can't imagine being in like a real terrible car accident. So I hope you're okay, and just hang in there and do what the doctors tell you.
Hey, you survived for a reason. All things pass. So take some time now. Maybe this is, I know it's a terrible thing, but it might also be a blessing for you to take a break from your world a little bit. Think about what's going on in your life and maybe some changes you want to make, some self-reflection. That's what I would say. But you're going to get through it. And clearly, if you have friends like this reaching out to get you love from us, you're surrounded by some good people, man. So that's positive.
Rely on that support system.
Absolutely. Elijah Vid says, update on Chazelle, Cruz, and Chalamet's next films. Well, I know Cruz is going to wear a prosthetic in his new film. That's all I know from this week.
Yeah, I think Digger is going to be really interesting. Chazelle has the prison movie going, and it's starting to cast up, as we've seen. And Chalamet has Dune. So, and then he'll segue into the James Mangold movie, I think.
Yeah. Message to McCall. Beth Snyder, a new season of 24 has an intense episode that takes place in an Uber. Influencers love Return of Silent Hill so much they stripped naked. There you go.
Thank you, Beth.
James Proctor, 3985. Watched the Masters of the Universe trailer with my kids. They loved it. I'm on the fence. They seem to have geared it towards the right audience. Thoughts? Maybe because on my reaction video, it is like 97% positive and 3% negative. I'm surprised. I thought it was not that great of a trailer at all, but clearly enough people are wanting to give it a chance, Jeff.
Hey, if there's an audience for this, I will eat my words, and I'll be the first person to call the producers in the studio and be like, you know what, guys, you were right. I didn't see it. It was a blind spot. We'll see.
Josh Duckwall. Nice, Josh. Nice picture. Love watching you guys. Appreciate the laughs and awesome conversations. Do we know yet if this new Ron Howard firefighter movie is a Backdraft remake or something different? I'd be surprised.
Something different. Yeah. It's not a Backdraft remake, nor would he remake his own movie.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah, it's an original. And Josh, why are you watching us? Go hang out with that smoke show wife of yours.
Hey.
Beautiful woman behind him. What are you just watching?
I'm saying he can do both. I like him watching
too. Maybe
she's watching. Wacky Wally 66. What's up, Wacky? He says, thanks for the blood simple talk. Coming from such lads of privilege, I'm blessed. Hope you saw Barton Fink. I'm not a Barton Fink guy. It's one of those rare Coens that I don't like. I'm not a Barton Fink guy at all. Because I'm not a writer. And I think that speaks to writers. It's not my jam. Jeff?
I'm with you. There's a whole bunch of Coens movies that I think are overrated, but not Blood Simple. Blood Simple rules.
Matt Sister McCall says, Jeff, are these movies going to be a January dump or hump? Iron Lung, Send Help, Shelter, Mercy, Silent Hill. You too excited for any of these? Go Pats!
I don't know what Iron Lung is. Shelter is probably going to be a January dump. I'm not getting like a beekeeper, working man vibe from that. I don't really know what I don't even think I've seen a trailer. Mercy, I have tickets to see it tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to go.
Terrible reviews. I skipped the screening.
And it did impact me a little. It's like, Owen Gleiberman said it's better than it's getting credit for. And I do respect Owen's opinion.
Me too. I like Owen.
We'll see if I go see Mercy, but Send Help. I have tickets to see that Saturday night, the sneak peek. I'm pumped for that.
I'm supposed to go to the screening tonight, but we'll see if I have the energy to do it. We'll see if I have
John, and let me know how it is, because I think it makes me laugh.
I'm so tired, Jeff. All right, we'll see.
You were up early for the Oscar noms.
I've done 4 videos today. I'm exhausted. Doug Developer says, could Madigan have the edge because she's old? No, not because she's old, because she's good in the role. Yeah, Hollywood loves old people, especially old women.
You're dying. We got to give you an Oscar.
Curtis Steve J. Lockjaw. Carlito's Way and State of Grace is my favorite. But I forgot about Carlito's Way. That's definitely my top 5. Yeah. Shit. I forgot about Carlito's Way.
Battle.
State of Grace is a hole in my viewing that I need to fix. I need to see State of Grace. A lot of good guys in that movie. Wayne Edwards says, Rocha, great job on the Oscar nomination show this morning. Thank you. I always dig your takes. I appreciate that. Hey, Jeff, enjoyed your FYC show this morning as well. We're about to go see Marty Supreme tonight. I hope you like it, Wayne.
I've thought about checking out an IMAX next weekend. They announced an IMAX run.
Really?
Or Marty.
I might see it on IMAX. I'd love to see that.
Wayne, thank you for watching FYC. It was a very rushed show today. Mance had to be on at 12:30, and we started late, and Perry had tech difficulties. It was not the way I would have liked to have done the show, but
sorry, bud.
Gotta roll the punches.
Buckteeth Bandit, hear anything on Christopher Dent casting? Thanks. Yeah, Harvey's dad. Have you heard anything more on this, Jeff?
I never said he's in the movie. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I've only been right about the cinematographer for Batman, all the Dents, and now writer. But no, I haven't heard anything for Dent.
There you go. Just my opinion. 84 says Jonathan Major was best actor for Magazine Dreams. Jeff, you could make a case he was snubbed, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if none of this shit had happened, I mean, the movie was supposed to come out 2 years ago, but let's say it didn't, and it was always supposed to come out this year, and none of this shit had happened with him. I think he gets in over Ethan Hawke for sure.
Probably.
It's a great performance, but the movie itself, I do wish was better.
If you expand it to 8, he would have made it in. Just saying. Cowboys fan 92. Hey, Jeff and Sean, I firmly believe it's Patriots versus the Rams for the Super Bowl. Seahawks will fight hard to win this weekend, but will come up short.
I mean, no Charbonnet. Everything's
that's rough. Everything on Kenneth Walker III. That's not easy to do.
I would be nervous about that.
Yeah. And Sam Darnold. You're just waiting for that 4 interception game from Sam Darnold.
All season it's been leading to May versus Stafford.
Yeah, it seems like that. You're probably right. That Shadow 790 says, have either of you guys heard of whether Scream 7 is good or bad? Also, have you guys been watching Fallout Season 2? It's pretty good so far, in my opinion. I have to catch up on Season 2. I've watched the first 3 episodes. I wasn't that excited. It's a bit of a slog. So maybe it's gotten better, so I'll catch up. But Scream 7, I haven't heard anything. Jeff, have you?
Not a peep. Although, this isn't a movie you typically hear about stuff long in advance because about who the killer is, and they probably try to keep the numbers down on the number of critics who are seeing it beforehand. As far as Fallout, I have not started watching Season 2. I've heard good things about Fallout Season 2, but
really, okay. First 3 episodes, a bit of a slog. Matt Sister McCall, eating shrimp and mac and cheese while hot mic is on. Ooh, that's a combo. Only bacon and mac and cheese, nothing else. Maybe.
I'm with you. Shrimp,
right? Shrimp.
I've never had shrimp. I've never eaten shrimp in my life.
What? Can I recommend?
I've never had seafood.
Oh wow! Is that on purpose? Or you're from fucking Boston? How do you not have seafood?
You knew this about me.
Oh,
I never had fish. I never had lobster. I never had clam chowder. I had a piece of calamari once for a very pretty blonde French girl who begged me to have a bite, but that was
have a bite of calamari.
Yeah, she was.
I would do that too for a pretty French girl. Wiley Webb says, any thoughts on why we don't see people making more original songs for movies? We've seen success like K-pop. It's like the same thing with rom-coms. I just think people want to do their own thing and they don't want to attach it to a movie anymore. I don't think people need to make music. I don't think people need to get attention through movies for their music. I think there's so many more avenues than movies nowadays. So that's probably why. Or a big reason why. Jeff?
There's only one franchise that gives a shit about songs anymore. Let the sky fall. It's back, baby. It's coming back, and I can't wait to see who does the theme song.
That's true. That's a good point. We'll see. Josh Duckwall come back and saying she is sitting right next to me. She loved that. There you go, Jeff. So yeah, they both watch together. Hey, the couple that hot mics together stays together. That's what I've
heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Super Streamlabs, real quick, Jeff. Let's go through these. Samo says, "Hey, the article I told you about today about black people criticizing Timmy promotion of Marty Supreme was from Vulture." Okay, I'll check that one out, Samo.
That was an interesting. I've heard that piece has been making waves. I haven't actually read the whole thing.
Okay,
but yeah, it was all about his Wigga stuff, right?
Yeah, but
you can't. It was it's like the code switching, right? He used what like I guess rap, right?
Right
to promote Marty Supreme, and now that he has to be buttoned down Mr. Oscar, he's left that behind. Yeah, I mean,
hey, what a surprise! He's playing the game.
Right?
Let's go attack him because he's playing the game.
Exactly. Welcome to showbiz, Vulture.
Yeah, welcome to show business. Right. I'm sure that person who wrote the article has never code switched to get a job ever in their life. Corey H. Hey guys, down here in New Orleans, love the show. It's my weekly must watch. Jeff, any small bits and bobs for Batman 2? Keep up the good work. Thank you, Corey, and hope you enjoy New Orleans, bro.
Wait, did someone on the internet just give me a compliment?
Yeah, they did.
What is going on? No, I don't have any tidbits. I mean, I still expect Christopher Dent to be the next piece of casting. I mean, if they have a little trouble finding him, maybe they move on to, like I said, that Dr. Arkham role or some other supporting roles. But I would imagine that if you see a 60-plus-year-old male cast in this movie, you can probably assume they're Christopher Dent. And did we throw this one out there again? It's not going to happen, but it would be wild, right?
Okay.
There's an actor who came out of retirement this fall, John, and did a movie that nobody saw, and he was talking a little bit more like, maybe I'd like to be doing more commercial stuff. Everyone's afraid of approaching me and offering me this stuff, but I'm actually open. You know who that guy is?
I don't remember. Who was it?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh yeah. And, oh my God.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Please. You just gave me an internal nerdgasm, and I'm not happy.
Wild. And if you're looking for a 60-plus-year-old male, I don't know how you offer it to anybody without having that conversation with him.
In a Matt Reeves, if you're going to get Daniel Day-Lewis for your superhero movie, a Matt Reeves movie is the way to do it. Yeah.
Just looking at the next 5, 6, 7 years of superhero movies.
Oh,
this is the one if you were going to do one.
Yep. Cam says Boris already preloaded the Muschietti may not direct due to scheduling and availability excuse. He is 100% off the movie, and they're just waiting to announce that until the script is done and then have a replacement lined up. Yeah, of course.
Fine. I mean, like I said, I buy it, but what did Boris ultimately report?
Yeah, that he's still attached.
That he's directing the movie. So, it's like sometimes, and again, if I was aggregating my own story, I might have included a line like that, like Boris did. That's smart. That's a way to advance the story, give it a little bit more. But when I'm breaking a story, I'm trying to, give you the facts. And in that story in particular, I was very transparent as far as like, things are a little weird. I don't know why they're weird. Here are my two theories why things are weird.
Yep. Fair point. But I don't have to adhere to any of that because I'm not.
Get rid of John Close. John G10. Get rid of him.
All right. What's he doing? Is there something wrong?
I just don't. And we just don't need this kind. We don't need this kind here.
Fine. I'll get him out. There you go. Ban user delete comment. All right. See. Crackles, is any clue who the male character being cast for Man of Tomorrow is, or any details you've heard about the role? Yeah, we had Maxima earlier this week, or last week, I guess, Jeff, was revealed. So do you have any idea?
We didn't even talk about this. We should have talked about this whole DC portion. Gunn goes on social media again, can't help himself. Has to, reiterate things about Wonder Woman, right? So we're not auditioning actresses. I don't know who said that. She's not.
It's all a lie. We're not auditioning for Batman or Wonder Woman.
The same thing about Supergirl, didn't he? For Superman.
Yes.
I believe he said the exact same thing.
Yep.
And the other thing he said is we're not auditioning. Interesting word. So you're just not you're not holding tests with the costume and stuff, but you could absolutely be meeting with people.
Yes. Yeah.
Is what I said. Meeting. I didn't say anybody's fucking testing or auditioning or whatever. So just a little bit of interesting semantics for you guys to keep in mind. Yeah. And also look at this. Don't look at my track record. I know my track record gets scrutinized. Someone else has a track record. And we got along very well this week. There's good communication between the parties. But, I mean, I'm forgive me if I don't take him at his word on the whole Wonder Woman thing.
Yeah.
You need to get this character into the DCU sooner rather than later. You don't think this is the perfect time? The end of fucking Man of Tomorrow?
I think it is. Possibly. Mark Carney is the one says the Pats have to lose. They have to lose. Enough. Sinners is good, not great, and I can't believe the love it's getting. Happy for Delroy, though. Yeah, there you go. I know people wrote 5 years you've been waiting to be in contention again, and everyone's mad about it. Go ahead, yeah.
Rayan Govender says, get Daniel Day-Lewis for Heat 2. I do like that. Daniel Day-Lewis as the villain. That would be pretty cool.
I agree, 100%. Let's see. Lynch says, Jeff and John, do you have any Marvel scoops? And when do you think we are getting the X-Men reboot cast? I don't have anything. Jeff, do you have anything? I don't have anything right now. Although, all right, I'll say this. This is what I heard from my source today, but I think we've heard this already, Jeff. They've heard that Doomsday could run for 3 hours and that it's huge. And that they are considering splitting Secret Wars into 2 parts, but we've heard all that already. So I don't know if that there's anything big that's reported there. So your thoughts?
I haven't heard anything to that effect. I mean, totally buy that the movie's 3 hours. That would shock nobody. Especially when something like Avatar is like 3:15 or something.
Right.
Something ridiculous. Right. As far as Secret Wars being 2 movies, I buy it. It's possible. It just already feels like it is 2 movies. Right? Secret Wars and Doomsday. It's all one conclusion that they split in 2. Maybe, I guess, listen, there's a lot of fucking shit that they got to wrap up. So maybe there is 3, but I don't know.
Maybe there is. There's so many characters, there's so many things they want to do. And maybe they think if they turn it into a trilogy, they could somehow delay launching the new phase, and they'll have given themselves enough of a ramp up into what's going on and all. If they make 3 movies out of it, what's going on in these 3 movies to lead us to the new phase, maybe. So I don't discount it. Fred Tassi says, "Hey, my hot Mike, showing support from my dudes. Thank you, Fred. Thanks for everything you do and you go through to bring us this show. John, you're awesome playing in the YouTube sphere, and Jeff's newsletter always kills it."
As it's going to tonight.
Oh, there you go. Samuel says 28 years later sequel box office did not look good. Yeah, that's Jeff. Is that franchise dead now? Well, what are they going to do a 3rd one? What are your thoughts?
Wait, which one?
28 years later.
Okay. We can talk about that.
Real quick. Yeah.
Oh, you're in a rush.
I'm not in a rush. We're over 6 o'clock. You usually say you have to go by now. So
I don't, baby. I'm here till 8 o'clock till I go on the fucking BBC radio, mate.
You going on BBC? That's awesome.
They reached out today about Oscars.
Nice.
All right, Simon, yank your BBC gig. No, I'm sure he's on another channel. They'll probably will move forward with it because it's Killian and because the response to this movie and because of the new Pay One deal, right, with Netflix, probably like, pays for it to some extent. But, just on paper, like, no. Well, like, I guess you've come this far and maybe you're trying to get Danny Boyle to do something for you down the line. So you let him complete his trilogy and his creative vision.
Yeah.
You're trying to get into business with Alex Garland too. So to cut the knees at this point following these reviews would be tough. But like, if you were just going off the box office, this is a huge bomb. Huge.
Yeah. I think it's massive. Yeah.
It opened to 15 over 4 days. The last one opened to 30 over 3.
Yeah.
A crazy drop. It's because the last movie was not good. You can say whatever you want. And I know people who loved it. I was talking, to somebody just an hour ago before we started the show who thought it was like the standout movie of last year. But I don't think audiences liked it. And then that was reflected in the box office haul for the sequel.
Right. Fred says, one more question. Die Hard and Lethal Weapon are both Christmas movies, in my opinion, but which is the more iconic moment? Yippee-ki-yay or Have a Nice Day, bullet holes on the target?
Is this a for real question?
Yes, fantastic. I would say Yippee-ki-yay is the more iconic moment.
I think anyone with a brain in their head would say Yippee-ki-yay. I think it's a better thing to do Yippee-ki-yay or I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, too old for this shit. That's right, exactly.
That's something that like everybody uses in everyday life. Not everybody's going Yippee-ki-yay. So that may end up, I don't know. That's a tricky one. Which is more iconic?
I think for me, the iconic moment is, for me personally, is him slamming his shoulder back into place. Or the fight with Joshua at the end. That's the iconic scene of that film, is the fight with Joshua at the end. Wayne Edwards says, what's up, gents? As much as I like Sinners, I was surprised by the 16 nominations. Bummed that Weapons didn't get one for editing. I'm really happy F1 got some Oscars attention. Hey, no comic book nominations at all, not even for visual effects. Wow.
Yeah, Superman didn't get in.
Yeah, Superman, Thunderbolts, or Captain America.
Well, we said in the run up to Superman that there had been a lot of complaints and problems with VFX and stuff. So
yeah,
I think I still predicted it last night. I still thought it was going to manage its way in, but the fact that it didn't, I think it says something. I think it may be why James is switching DPs for Man of Tomorrow.
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. That's a great point, Jeff. Good connection there.
Not that the DP does the VFX, but like
no,
just in terms of the thing, like this is a guy he'd worked with three or four times in a row, and now he's switching it up for Man of Tomorrow. That tells me something.
Yeah. Budweiser says, love the newsletter. Best one in town. Sneider is a rock star. There you go. Jeff, didn't you break that Christina Hodson also wrote Fast 11? Good God, some people fail up. Oh, yikes. Okay.
I mean, we haven't seen Fast 11.
Right. And who goes for the dialogue?
It's tough to judge a writer. Like, imagine doing it like with production design. Like, you could do production design on some bomb, right? And then get hired by Chris Nolan or some major filmmaker, and it's not like, look at this fucking production designer failing up.
Right.
Production designer has, like a very limited influence on how the movie and its box office goes. Yeah. I just think, writing, it's a tricky thing to judge like that.
Yeah, because they always bring in ghostwriters. They bring in people who punch up. Like Patton Oswalt made a whole career punching up scripts for years before he became famous as a comic or stand-up entertainer. So you just never know. Jeffrey says Daniel Day-Lewis was rumored a year ago to be on the list for Magneto. If he wants to do commercial, also, Jeff, you mentioned that Marvel was looking at Sadie Sink for Jean back in December last year with all the secrecy in her being in Star Wars, of course. Secret Wars, rather. Of course, she's Jean Grey.
Again.
Yeah.
Listen, I know I put that out there.
Right.
Didn't love the source. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Didn't necessarily love the sourcing on that story, and I walked it back. Right, a couple weeks later, I was like, "Oh, she's actually playing somebody else." So, like I've always said to you guys, transparently, gun to my head, I have no fucking idea who she's playing.
Yeah. Well, she. What is this? Okay, all right. I don't know. A friend just sent me a tweet, but I don't see the tweet on her actual fucking. Maybe it's an.
I don't need a new chair. I don't care how squeaky this one is. I love it.
There you go. All right. Hold on, sorry about that. Let's move on to the next one. All right, Jeffrey says, also, any writers Marvel are looking at, I hope they're taking more time in consideration to hire more expensive writers in the future. Did you guys hear, too, that Feige let Amy handle Brand New Day so that he focuses on Avengers? I just hope the VFX is good. Yeah, that's what Justin said on that interview that you were mentioning, the Mom's Basement stuff, that Feige is just focused on Doomsday and nothing else. And he thinks that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, I very much buy that. You have to stick the landing of these two movies. No one's going to look at Spider-Man and be like, "Oh, it sucked. Let's blame Kevin Feige." Yeah. I think Amy is obviously an experienced enough producer and filmmaker or storyteller, just in general, that she could oversee that movie just fine without Kevin being on set all the time. Right. What was the other part of it, though? What an absurd. No, that's not
okay.
Not gonna happen. If he did a movie, it would be a one-off, like I think the Batman too.
Right. Well, I mean, and also the writers. Are they hiring more experienced writers? I would imagine so. Yeah, maybe. Jeff?
I think that they have said that they want that. But let me ask you, when you're looking at the things to spend money on and spend more money on, do you think writers are high on that list? Like, hey, let's spend more money on writers.
No, listen, I agree that writers are important. Do I think they're spending money on the writers? No, I don't think that. Yeah, if you're asking me that, I don't.
They're not spending the money to get Emma Stone and Margot Robbie, Fantastic Four. Like, they're not spending it to bring in some fucking writer.
Because most people don't go for the script to go see them.
Marvel's cheap.
Yeah. Buck Teeth Bandit says, chance of Tom Cruise as Christopher Dent? 0. Jeff? Wow. Okay.
He's done a lot.
Okay.
Has a Warner Brothers movie coming out this fall.
True.
Has never done a comic book movie. Wouldn't be required to do any crazy costume shit for this necessarily.
Yeah.
And more importantly, this guy, what does he love more than anything? Loves making movies.
He loves making movies. and getting people into the theater.
Do you know any movies that he's making anytime soon?
No. Just Digger that's coming out. Yeah.
He already made that one. Wow. I don't know what the hell is going on with Tom Cruise. I don't know what's next for him. There's no Mission Impossible movie waiting in the wings. Top Gun 3 is still a ways off.
Yeah.
This is a guy who likes to work, likes to get back to work. I don't know.
All right, maybe. You might be right, Jeff.
It's a crazy idea. I'm fucking with you guys. It's a crazy idea, but
okay.
You never know.
Who knows? Yeah, true. The All Yankee says, appreciate your hard work, especially on Oscar noms day today, gents. Hope you're right, Jeff. Read more Daniel Day-Lewis work. Yeah, I think we'd like that. 34 Virgo says, Jeff, who is the Ghost Rider? Do you know who is the Ghost Rider? Who's playing Ghost Rider? You don't know. Yeah, no, you don't.
I don't know.
Yeah. Also, give us one surprise director that may enter the MCU, and do you think we will see more MCU actors in DC as a, quote, easier crowd draw appealed to the theater? I think it's about casting. It's not about appeal to the theater. I think it's about finding actors that you really like that work for the projects that you're making, in my opinion. I don't think they're casting them just to be crowd draws.
I think it's limiting to just call like, oh, Dave Bautista. That would be an MCU actor going to DC. Well,
right.
I mean, I don't know if that's fair to just limit him to that. Listen, there's so many Marvel movies, right? There's 40 fucking Marvel movies. They use a ton of fucking actors and, a lot of big names and talented ones. I think it's very likely that some of those actors will find their way into additional DC projects. Yes.
Right.
A surprise director, though. What do you think about that, John?
Josh Safdie. Josh Safdie, a surprise director to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it would be like one of the ground-based characters. A Josh Safdie Punisher film, I think, would be super interesting.
I'll go with the town's hottest two directors.
Okay.
And that is Stein and Lepofsky from Final Destination Bloodlines.
Ooh, you love those
These are the guys who are getting fucking jobs left and right all over town.
It's true.
I don't know. They like the Russos. They got Benson and Moorhead. They like duos.
Yeah. Are you upset that Final Destination didn't get any nominations? You
Furious.
All right. Those are all the questions that I see. So thank you all so much. I think that's everything. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the show. Thanks for a lively chat. Jeff, please let people know where they can subscribe to you and get on your newsletter and see all the things you got going on.
theinsnyder.com with a .com. Yeah, that's it. I don't really have anything. Is there anything I wanted to plug, John? Is there anything?
I don't know. Do you have any? There's the FYC show earlier today to watch more of your you guys' thoughts.
I got FYC, obviously. I feel like there's something I wanted to say here at the end, but I forget. Oh, well.
Okay. Well, I think it might be that we have merchandise coming very soon, ladies and gentlemen. We've spoken to Jeff's brother. We had a really great conversation the other day. He has built a store for us. So we will be announcing the link to that store on our social media. So please follow Jeff at the Insnider and me at the Rocha Says. And I think you guys will enjoy the initial start of the merchandise, and we'll see where it goes from there. We're always looking for new ideas. So if you guys who are artists out there want to have your design possibly used by Jeff and I, maybe a mock-up of Jeff and I, or some of our famous quotes or sayings like, the hello, Johnny, or anything like that, please feel free to mock stuff up. Understand that we can't pay you like a shit ton of money, but we can figure something out. So send stuff in and maybe we'll turn it into a t-shirt and you'll get credit for it. You can sign your artwork on the t-shirt and whatever. So just throwing that out there as a possibility, but we'll figure it out as we go along, and look on our social media for updates. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says. Please remember to subscribe to the channel down below as we're marching towards 50,000. Hit a like on this video, share it on your social media. Leave your comments about everything we talked about as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We'd love to get more people listening and subscribing to the podcast as well. All right, for Jeff Sneider, I'm John Rocha. This is The Hot Mic. We'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode live here on the channel. Peace.